And we're back. How you doing, Will?
I'm all right. Been a long day, but I'm glad you're back off holiday and it's good to hang out again.
I'm also glad I'm back off of holiday, but I genuinely missed hobby stuff because I didn't actually get a chance to do anything. I didn't even read the Night Haunt. So
Shocking.
I know. You know what? I took that and the Flesh Eater Courts one, and I didn't even open them.
You're having too much fun with the family. How dare you?
That's it. I was definitely not in bed by 9:30 every night because I was utterly exhausted. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Warhammer and what we've been doing. I'm excited for this one because we've got a couple of things I wanted to talk about. And we've not talked about any of this stuff previous, have we?
No.
So that's going to be an absolute positive. And we're going to try not to say, well, we're not going to try not to say, Will,
I don't know.
oh yeah, 504 times. All right. Thank you. I'm on joking. But let's try not to. Definitely. So, boom, chat.
Got me there.
In this episode, we're going to talk about, well, it's the 10 years of Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, it is.
And seemingly that is a thing. So we thought we'd do our top 10 Age of Sigmar models. We'll come up to that in a minute.
Yep.
Some general conversation about AOS.
Yeah.
Some of the interesting stuff that's leaked. I have some stuff that I need to talk about. I know we kind of touched a little bit on this with some of his messages backwards and forwards, but there's some stuff that's annoying me, mate. Is like, I just need to vocalize it because
I've got an idea about what this might
be. It is Hercules, some chronic.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a couple of, I suppose we'll put it in the hot takes and it's kind of relevant to some of the new stuff. But yeah, for me, I'm interested to talk about this 10 years of AOS idea because you've got more of a 10-year background with AOS than I do. So it's going to be interesting to see what you think and what I think, because I think it might be a couple of different talking points there.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is going to kind of probably span the rest of the year's episodes as well, because there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I guess we'll come on to it in there's like hobby chat conversation stuff in a minute once we've done this very long intro that we're doing now. So let's get onto that in a second. Then we've got we're going to do as top 10 hot takes as we always do. We've had a sneak peek of today's hot sauce and we both nearly died.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a fun one. And we've actually had some questions from people, or we've had a question from people, and we have now launched our Discord, which is a small, intimate community of people that we're interacting with, and it's really fun, isn't it? I've had a great laugh with it.
Yeah, it was some nice guys in there. We're having some good chats and some good laughs. So yeah, if you pop over to our Instagram or check the links in YouTube or Spotify or wherever, I think the Discord link is around there. So if you want to come and have a chat with us, feel free, come and join.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely do that. With that said, I think that's his intro. Shall we jump into it and get into the
we should. 10? I think it's going to be a long one. Yeah, we're starting with the top 10.
So, 10 years of Age of Sigmar, like we said, and we thought it'd be a really cool idea, because we've not done this before, to do our top 10 Age of Sigmar models, the ones that we kind of liked, and have a chat about them. So, just to put this into perspective a little bit, what we've decided to do is take out any of the centerpiece units. So, any of your big models like, I can't really think of any of the centerpiece models. Nagash. There we go. Or Archeon, anything like that. Any of the large, massive £100 plus models, and also any of the special edition, anything like that. So it's just standard units in the army. That's what's going to comprise our top 10, and maybe a couple of honorable mentions. And we're just going to chat around what those mean to us and why we like them. I think certainly for me, there's some really surprising choices in there.
Yeah, what I'll also say is that we don't know what each of us top 10 are yet. We've got it, we've got them in front of us on the list, but we haven't actually looked at them. So yeah, we're coming at this fresh. So I think there's going to be some surprises.
I'm properly excited to do this. I'm so excited to find out what you put in there.
I wonder if there's going to be any crossover.
I don't know.
Imagine if we both had the exact same top 10. I'm pretty sure that won't happen, but I wonder if there is going to be a crossover.
I would be really surprised if you can pick out my number one.
I reckon you could probably guess mine, but don't save it for when it comes around. I honestly don't know, because I think your number one would probably be a centerpiece model that you won't have put in this list. So if we're keeping them out, I really don't know. I've genuinely got no idea.
No, well, I tell you what, if we like doing this and people listen to it, let's do another follow-on of our maybe top 5 centerpiece models or something.
I'll be down for that.
And the endless spells. I don't know. Faction terrain, perhaps. I really like doing this.
Okay.
I don't know how did you comprise your list before we get into this?
Well, I think I probably have 4 or 5 in my head of the sculpts that I really like, that I just made a note of, and then I had a look through the website. I had a look through some White Dwarf editions that I've got. I just had a browse really, just see. I've always got some ideas in my head of the models I like, but I kind of went in looking at stuff that I normally wouldn't look at. But I mean, it was all stuff that I have thought about before, and it's a lot of models that interest me around the factions altogether. So yeah, just had to spend a bit of time. But the bulk of at least half my list I kind of had in my head already.
Really?
Yeah, my number one, like I knew straight off the bat what my number one was going to be.
See, I didn't. I had there's a model that I really, really like that I don't think I've ever talked to you about. I may have shown you my version of it, but I don't think I've ever told you how much I liked it.
Is it in the list?
It is my number one.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but we won't go there yet. And I went through the entire website. I think it was 688 models. It's probably worth saying as well that we haven't taken out any of the Forge World stuff or whatever it was.
No.
I've not anyway. So I've based my list on anything that is currently available on the Games Workshop website.
I think a couple of mine might not be.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's
But
fine.
not Forge
I didn't
World.
think of going backwards. I mean, I don't like anything that's been discontinued really. Anyway.
I don't think it's anything that's been discontinued. Well, you'll find it out as we go along.
Shall we just get into?
Let's dive into it.
Do you want to go first?
I can do, yeah. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you can have a look if you click on my number 10. You should see it there.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that now.
You've got it.
It's opening. This is exciting. Woohoo!
Well, while you're opening it, I can tell you what it is if you want.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't expect this at all. No, go on.
So, it is the Spirit Host from the Nighthawk range. I mean, I'm just going to dive in and tell you why I like it. I mean, the sculpt itself, I really like. I think it captures a real sense of movement and incorporeal horror. That's the note I made. I thought that was quite a cool way of saying it. I mean, if you know the model, the bodies are sort of composed of wispy, floating tendrils, and then you've got the screaming faces with that look of anguish on them. And I think it really reinforces the ghost lore from the Nighthaunt for me. You know, it's one of the reasons why I like Nighthaunt. You know, it's quite visual in that sense. Excuse me. You know, it's quite a busy model, I think. But I don't think it's cluttered because it kind of hovers over the base. You know, we're talking about the actual sculpt. And I didn't realize how much I was going to like them until I physically built them and I saw them next to some of the other units because they are big. And I didn't realize how big they would be. What I will say, though, on the flip side, one of the worst models I've ever built kit-wise. Fiddliest, awful build. Like, I wanted to throw them at the wall a couple of times, but worth it to see the end result. It's one of them ones you need 3 hands for. But yeah, once you get past that, I think really striking model and fun to paint and quite an easy paint job to make them really pop out. But yeah, I think they're going to be not a centerpiece of my army as such, but I think you're definitely going to notice them. I think the sculpt really really feeds into the lore side of things for me. And yeah, that's why it's there. It's number 10, but it's worthy of being there for me.
I'm genuinely surprised that you put these in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they are cool. They are cool. I think for me, because I've never seen them painted how I would like them, but I don't know what that means when I say I don't know how, I've never seen them how I'd like them. Because when you see them, they're all painted like this. Oh, shall we put the links to both of these lists in the description so people can click on it?
Yeah, sure, we can do.
Unless you're watching on YouTube, maybe I'll put the images up on the screen as well. Yeah, I don't know how I paint these, to be honest.
I can tell you how I painted mine. I mean, mine are green over blue, but yeah, really bright white.
Have I seen these of yours?
No.
I was going to say I don't.
Finished yet. You'll see them next week when we play.
Nice.
Because they're in my spearhead. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll see them next week.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I really like them. I like the bases. You know, they've got the skeleton and the gravestone. Like, I think some thought's been put into it. And yeah, it kind of sums up Nighthawk for me, in a sense. That's why I like them, and that's why I've popped them in my top 10.
They are a cool one. All right. Okay. So you started us off with that.
Yeah.
With the night on. Right. Let's see what I've got for my top 10 then.
Go on then. Let me click the link. Oh, okay. That was unexpected. Well,
yeah. This is what I mean. There's some interesting ones in there that I didn't expect. So For my number 10, I've gone for Gluttos or Cillian.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, Gluttos Sicilian, Lord of Gluttony. This is not a faction that I have any interest in, really. There's a couple of models that I like, but when I was looking through and my shortlist was my shortlist was about 50 models.
50.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Because I did what you did. I just went to all of the ones that I really liked, and I realized I've not really looked through the entire GW range and like analyze it. It's like, do I like this? Because you've got your bias of the armies that you like.
And I think there's also the bias of the paint job that you see on the website.
Right.
Yeah.
So I spent a fair bit of time, probably a little bit too much time. I genuinely enjoyed putting this list together. Looking at the models, shortlisting them, making notes. I had a nice spreadsheet of what I liked, whether it's other paint jobs, and I got the model from other people. I was like, yeah, empirically, I really like this model. However, it's one that I don't think I've ever seen as FLGS. I've never seen it on the tabletop. I don't know anybody that's ever had it, but it's glorious. I mean, there's so much going on in this, and this really sells Slanesh for me.
Yeah.
It's the exuberance, just the overtness of it. It's got that opulence that you or that I associate with Slanesh.
Yeah.
It's not too overtly sexual, even though like I get that that leans more into the AOS side of it, with the androgyny of some of the sculpts and such, which you don't necessarily see as much in 40k these days.
Yeah.
It's done well, and the paint job I genuinely do like, and I think there's a lot of the little details in this that I liked. There's enough freedom in large spaces on the model to really let you put your own feeling and emotion into there. Your own little trademarks, like how they've done the marble effect on the bottom of the carriage and stuff.
Yeah,
that to me reads as, oh, it's not just cool marble effect. That feeds into the opulence of that excess.
Yeah,
that is Slanesh. You've got the fat dude. It's like the excess of food. It's like gluttony.
Yeah.
Whereas I would have, just at a glance, I've gone, oh, he looks more Nurgle just because he's a fat dude. And he's got tentacles, whereas that's the wrong way of looking at it. And it's because I was looking at it more from an analytical perspective. And also like from a technical perspective, in terms of like, would I want to paint this? How would I paint it? Would it be a challenge? Would it be excited about it? And there's so many little details on here that I would love to paint. Obviously, I'd paint it much darker, but I can see where I would put like OSL on there. So like this staff that he's got with like a little vortex magic thing going into it. Definitely. It almost reminds me somewhat of in Star Wars, in Jabba's palace, where he's got Leia chained up.
I see.
There's almost that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I'll be honest, it's not a model that I would have put anywhere near my top 10, but I think we have very different tastes and very different ideas on AOS. But I can see you looking at that as a painting challenge.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be cool. There's lots of things that I don't like about it, but I think in terms of brilliant models, this is the sort of thing that you very rarely see in 40k. The only thing that I can relate this to in 40k is the Triumph of Saint Celestine, which I think is a beautiful score. I mean, I know it's getting on in age now. I think this is...
It still holds up.
Yeah. And it's like, this is one of the things that I would paint, much like that. I'll paint one day. I'd like to paint this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 10.
Interesting. All right. Do you want to pull up my number 9? I think this one might be a bit of a surprise for you, actually, because I don't think I've ever mentioned this or this faction to you in passing conversation.
Come on, open. Open! Open, damn it, open! Anybody that knows where that line came from?
I don't.
Come on. Now it's opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Writing on a postcard. Pleasant.
Or send us an email, like most people do nowadays.
I'll send us an email if you know where open, damn it, open comes from.
But yeah, have you got it open now?
Yeah, I've got it open. I'm surprised.
Cool. So what we're looking at is the Swamp Caller Shaman with pot rot. I didn't know if I'm allowed to have that because it's 2 in 1, but allowed.
Yeah, it's any unit,
Yeah.
not any model.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Cruel Boys on the whole, but this model I absolutely love. I think you just get a really distinctive, grimy swamp wizard vibe, and it's got a ton of character, and I think the pot rot adds a lot of narrative charm to that, and I think that's what I look at in models. He's got his, it's like his grubby little sidekick, his assistant. I could see how you would create a story behind that. I think that's what I like about this hobby. There are a lot of different textures on it from a painting standpoint. I can imagine that's a fun one to paint and to make it stand out. And I think you could have a lot of fun with that in Path to Glory, creating your own narrative behind that. But I think it's just a really fun model, and it kind of sums up AOS to me. I quite like the brightly colored stuff, which is a little bit different to you. I mean, that is just, it's overtly fantasy, isn't it? It looks as evil as it looks fun at the same time. And I think there's a place in the hobby for that for me. But yeah, I didn't know where to put that in my list, but I knew I wanted it to be in there. That was one of the 5 that I had in mind. It's one of them ones where I don't have any love for the faction on the whole.
Yeah.
But I just really like that sculpt. I just think there's a lot to catch your eye. There's a lot of stuff going on, and yeah, it's just one of the things that it just looks like AOS to me, and that's why I like it.
I couldn't agree more on pretty much everything that you've said there. Other than, for me, I don't think it's fantasy.
No?
No, I do. I don't think it's fun. I think this is, well, I pretty much agree with everything you've said on this one. Other than, for me, I don't think it's fun.
No?
No, I think this is almost the direction that I want them to take with the orcs.
Yeah.
I think this is from the Orc War Clans. I know they've rolled them back together or something now, haven't they?
Oh, have they? Did I get that wrong when
Yeah.
I said Cruel Boys?
No, I think they are Cruel Boys, but now
I might not be right, actually.
No.
As I say, it's not.
they were. This was from the previous Cruel Boy range where there were
Right.
2 separate things.
Okay.
I think they've put them all into the Orc War Clans now, so you've got
Right.
Iron Jaws and Cruel Boys in the same battle tone.
Okay, got you.
But I said that's one for me. How these look, how the Cruel Boys look, I think is so much better. I think some of the Cruel Boys are some of the best sculpts. Flat out, just way better than any of the other orcs.
Yeah, better
Yeah.
than like the Iron Jaws and stuff.
Mate, I have strong opinions about the Iron Jaws. I did it again. Yeah, I agree with everything on this. I think this is this reads AOS to me. There's so much about it. There's the additional detail. I know there is a lot of detail on it, but it's not over detail. Everything seems to have an intent and a purpose.
Yeah.
And like you say, the story and the narrative between the shaman and the pot grot, there's so much you can do there. Those little buggers were quite a force to be reckoned with in Warcry for a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could. Oh, there was a mechanic where you could just keep spawning
that.
You could, yeah. Well, it was. You could spawn multiple of them, and I was collecting pot grots for a while. But anyway, yeah, everything you said about this, the paint scheme doesn't do it for me. The model, however,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the paint scheme as you see it on the website, but I can see the potential in that model. And yeah, I mean, if I was into, painting models to have as a display piece in a cabinet, that'd definitely make that cut, I think, for me.
I mean, I don't know if I'm painting this model at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally painting it.
Oh.
I showed you it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. So
Shows how much
So
attention
that's
I
the
pay.
thing. And this model as well, maybe shouldn't tell you, but this model is on my list as well.
Oh, okay. So we've got a crossover.
There is definitely a crossover.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep the rest of my thoughts until I get to talk about it, and then you can kind of come back with that. But yeah, everything that you say, I absolutely agree. I think this is an absolute stonking model.
That's a good word.
It is. And I'm excited. I'm excited for my version of this because I've wanted to paint it for a while, and now I am because it's October. So I'm painting some orcs.
Yeah. Cool.
Well then,
What we got next for you?
let's get back into number 9. Can I click on my list? Yes.
So you're number 9. Oh, okay. Interesting. I knew you liked this one, but I didn't know you liked it this much.
The Scriptomortis from the Nighthawk range, one of your scary
Yeah.
boys. Oh, that's going to really peak in the audio. Yeah, I absolutely love this model. Ever since I saw it originally, and there's some fantastic community paint jobs that have been done.
Yeah.
This I would absolutely see as a painting challenge. I'd want to paint it multiple times. There's a beautiful simplicity about it, I think. Like
Yeah.
the sculpt tells the story itself. It almost, I don't know why it puts this picture in my head, but do you know A Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes me think of Christmas Carol,
Which version? The Muppets Christmas Carol one?
the Mickey Mouse one.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't know why. There's just something about like that old fashioned Disney vibe. I can almost see like a grainy film.
I get it.
This over the top of it.
I think the candles and the light trail, like a smoke from the lantern.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
It's got that classic Disney wispy to
fantasia element for that. I think that
exactly. That's it, dude. That is exactly it.
See it.
And I would paint it like that. I'd want to use just as a display piece.
Yeah.
I want to do it in sepias.
Okay.
Just pure black and white.
Yeah.
And then almost just have one pop of color coming in.
Yeah.
So I'd do the entire ghost and all of the standards as sepia, and perhaps the lantern that he's holding up, have that perhaps emanating a red glow, and that just lighting up the quill, because like the ghost should be incorporeal to me. It shouldn't be having any light interacting with it from another light source, where quite clearly the lantern is a physical element. So I just have the light that the lantern's casting lighting up the book and the quill.
That's interesting you say that, because that's the exact opposite of how I've painted my Nighthaunt, because I've got it almost as if the light emanates from them in a radiance. So your idea would be to flip that on its head.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I was thinking about this when it was from this, and it's like, how would I paint Nighthaunt? And I know we talked quite a lot when you were thinking of your schemes, and we had a backwards and forwards, and we were asking opinions of it and such. And I think for me, because everybody else seems to paint their Nighthaunt, and they paint the Nighthaunt.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, the ghosts.
Yeah.
What I want to do is, like, how do you convey the absence of something in a model? You can't, because it's inherently physical, isn't it? You can't paint nothing. I was like, well, how do you paint negative space? Perhaps. And then I was like, well, the way that I would normally paint negative space would be like how light interacts with it. But light's not going to be able to interact with the ghost. It can't. The light shining into it. That's what makes it see-through.
Yeah.
So it was a really interesting like thought process going through it. And it's like, right, so there's physical elements to the Nighthaunt, be it their weapons, some of the elements of the base. And I would think, if I was, and I'll probably do this with a spearhead just to try it, because I've not seen anybody do something like this. I will try and almost paint the models so that they're part of the base.
Okay.
And the light source, I'll put like a candle or something on each of the bases.
Yeah.
And try to make the light source lighting up the bases, but almost like it, sorry, I'm not explaining this very well.
I think,
the Predator?
Yeah.
Like how we see through and he reflects all of his surroundings. He's not actually not there, is it? He's just reflecting the light of everything.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and paint the Nighthaunt so that they're not there.
Like they're the absence of light.
Yeah, so it's just like the base reflecting onto the thing. And it'll take me ages to do it, because it's like quite an involved paint to do it.
Tough. I didn't go down that route. I don't think I could do that, but
and I got all of that from this model, because this model generally excites me. The simplicity of it, I think this captures the Nighthaunt just so beautifully for me. It's got that horror to it.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's got that spindliness to it. There's the weirdness of the art. It's just got all of the things that I think have become part of the zeitgeist of what people think of when they think of like spooky and horrific. It almost like blends together the traditional spectre element with like the Japanese ghost girl.
Yeah,
they have long spindly arms and things.
It's a relatively old sculpt now as well,
in
the grand scheme of things. But I think if you look at that against Lord Vitriolic, I think that is a much nicer representation of Nighthaunt to me. Like, the only reason I love the sculpt on this, I don't think it fits into my army, which is why
Mhm.
at the moment I'm not planning on buying it. But if I was going on just pure visuals, I would choose that over the new Lord Vitriolic any day of the week. If we
But you
can,
think this is better than
yeah, yeah,
Lord? Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. If we're converting some, sorry, not converting. If we're comparing some of the older Nighthaunt sculpts to the new ones, I'd go for that over some of the newer ones.
I think this lead of the earlier stuff, and this is something I want to talk about later on in a different segment, but I think this leans more into Games Workshop's previous position of what they were doing with the IP and who they were selling into.
Yeah,
This is more horrific. I think there's more scope here to do
yeah.
more horrific things, where I think the newer stuff is a little bit more friendly. It's a little bit more toned back, like we talked about
Oh, yeah.
the
A
Flesh
little
Eaters.
goofier, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I don't like about this is the weird thing coming out of the base, like the jagged, vapory stuff. That doesn't that doesn't sit with me as well as the wispy, bakery kind of elements to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see
Uh,
that.
but other than that, I'm there for this as well.
Mm.
I think this is absolutely glorious. I did originally have it much higher as well, but looking at it from a almost taking a step back, I was like, "Mm, no, it's on my list, but it's not there." And I did spend a lot of time backwards and forwards with it. So
Okay.
yeah, that's my number 9.
Okay. Do you wanna jump over to my number 8?
Yeah, I do want to jump over to your number 8, and I managed to open that one straight away.
Now, I think you're gonna have a reaction to this.
Okay,
Oh, yes.
I looked at this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so you've got the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal.
Yeah, I have. Obviously, I really like this one. It's another one where the sculpt tells a bit of a story to me. You know, I look at that and it looks like, I'm getting the vibe it's a martial on campaign. You know, the armor and his gear look used, but sort of well maintained. He's got the flag, which suggests, a moral sort of standpoint and a moral purpose. And it gives me that sort of everyday hero kind of vibe.
Mhm.
You know, that is what Cities of Sigmar are all about to me. Um, it just makes you think, discipline, leadership, tradition, prestige, and it is one of the ones that would make me want to start a Cities of Sigmar army. I mean, I was toying with the idea of getting that spearhead when we first started playing, if you remember,
I do.
and I decided against it because dwarves are in my heart. We've discussed this at length, but yeah, I really like that sculpt, and it's one. It just really stands out to me. I don't think it's got the most dynamic pose, with the dude sat on the horse by
Yeah.
any means, but I don't think it needs it because I don't think this guy is meant to portray that overly heroic mentality. It just looks like that everyday hero, and I think there's obviously a place for your characters and your absolute out and out heroes in AOS, but I think we also have to look at some of the more everyday things, and I think this does that perfectly.
I'm gonna agree with everything that you said there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not for me, but I can appreciate it technically. I think it's one of those sculpts that Games Workshop have done several times now.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the best versions of it
Yeah.
that I've seen. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's one of them. I'll come back to that later on,
Yeah.
but
I think for me, I look at it and you can look at it on face value, and I think you can kind of gather what I said from it. But when you look a little bit deeper, you've got things like the bedroll. You've got, some of the markings and the paint job that they've done on the metal on the horse's armor. There's just a lot of little detail in there that it just, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but it tells a story to me, and I can almost imagine like how I could create a narrative out of it. This is what I get from AOS. That to me makes me think I want this guy in my army. Like I want to paint that base. He stands out because he's going to sit a little taller,
yeah.
and yeah, it does a lot for me because it's very reminiscent of what my idea of Warhammer was when I was a kid, which, we're talking Warhammer Fantasy Battle now, long
Mhm.
time ago, showing my age. But, don't worry, I'm not going to get into old world or anything, but it has that kind of resonance for me because I used to like the Empire quite a lot. I never did anything with it. I never bought any, but it's a hark back to that for me. So maybe it's a bit of a nostalgia trip, I don't know, but it is one of the models that stood out to me when I came back to the hobby and I was looking at buying miniatures again. That was one of the ones that I nearly did buy.
I think it is. You're right. It tells a story, and I think that's the problem for me. The story that it's telling to me doesn't fit in with the heroic. Perhaps that's the wrong word, but the nature of AOS for me. When I look at this, I did genuinely consider this model. Like, you're right. It's like, is a guy is a the marshal is tired from war. Perhaps his wife has been killed in the war. He carries on because he's got this sense of duty. I think that's conveyed in this, that he's tired. He wants to. I mean, when you look at the face sculpt of it, there's bags under his eyes.
Yeah.
That carries over to the bedroll on the back of it. The horse doesn't look like it's in the best nick. It wants to give up, but they're not. They're going to carry on fighting.
Yeah.
And that sense of resolve and such, and that's a very heavy story.
Yeah.
And that has a place in fantasy for me, but that's, I think, more high fantasy than what I want out of Age of Sigmar, which is more fantastical. It's that heroic setting, and I don't think you can't have both of those, and they can still exist. And it's definitely, it would be a painting challenge to do this, but I don't think that level of somberness in an army for me right now isn't what I'm looking for. Even though I'm going down that grimdark, somber route, I know it sounds like quite a counter to what I'm saying, but I don't know. There's just, that seems very heavy for me. But the sculpt is beautiful, and I did consider this as well in my own, even though I would never paint Cities of Sigmar personally.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think I don't want to beleaguer this one too long, but I guess what you said about that somber mentality seems a bit more 40k than AOS. If you want that, you can go to 40k and you can do some really somber stuff over there. If you think of the Deathcore of Krieg models where they're on the horses, you could tell that story, couldn't you? And that story has been told 100 times over. So yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, but it's interesting that we have sort of,
There's definitely been a crossover, hasn't there?
yeah, there's some different perspectives, but there's a lot of sort of things that link it together as well.
Shall we move on to my number 8?
Your number 8, go on then. Oh, okay. That is a surprise. So I am looking at a bunch of clan rats.
Yeah, the new Skaven clan rats that launched with Skaventide.
Yeah.
I've painted them.
Yep. I've seen them.
I sold them.
You did?
Made quite a nice profit on them. There we go again. It's me this time, isn't it?
I'm saying nothing.
We need an counter from her. I think these are some of the best models Games Workshop have done. I know they're only 8. But in terms of the amount of detail in them that you can pick out if you want to, the amount of character you can pick out of them, and some of the individual sculpts, how they've managed to put this amount of poses together from quite a limited number of body parts
For what is essentially a chaff unit as well.
is wondrous. And there's some really nice sculpts in here. The characterization's great. Even though I'm not a fan of Skaven by any means, just how much you can flex with these models is ridiculous. There's so much character to them. They're wondrous. And in terms of an upgrade from what Games Workshop previously had out there with the Skavens,
Oh yeah,
that's
undeniable.
This is up there with the Oryx as a kind of counter to those. This is wondrous. I think we're seeing a real progression in style from Games Workshop, even from like some of the older models that still hold up today and look wondrous. Some of the earlier Maggotkin stuff, I think they were some of the first stuff to be released in like the newer wave and newer style of Games Workshop. These still adhere to that direction. They've not gone goofy with them, which I thought they were going to do, to be honest.
Oh yeah, they look mean. They don't look goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do. And there's, like, as I say, I mean, it's just reiterating the same point, but there's so much potential on something so small to bring out whatever personality you want for your army.
Yeah.
And they convey that scariness, that ratish element that you think, I know they're anthropomorphized into humanoid rat men, but you look at them and you feel like they're just like, you know, they're doing the timid and they're all over the place, and
Yeah, I
it's
think they're very
dynamic.
yeah, yeah. I think they look like they're hunched over. They look bestial. You know, you've got even down to little details like you've got an eye patch on one of them, and the weapons are crude. It's everything Skaven should be.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. There's it's a really great unit
Yep.
of really good sculpts, and even though I didn't really enjoy painting them because I wanted to get them done and try them. I think if it was to do it again, I would pick one or two of them out, for a diorama or something like that. And I feel as like an artist, not to sound like pretentious or anything like that, putting an armor painting ability aside, and if I was going to sit down and actually like do something that I was proud of, a
Yeah.
competition piece or something, these are some of the best sculpts technically that you can paint on.
Yeah.
There's such a diversity of textures. You've got fur, you've got chainmail,
Yeah.
you've got materials,
There's wood
you've got
on the
skin,
shields.
you've got wood. There are so many things you can do with them, and yeah, they're really good, and they're not Stormcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is really fantasy for me. This is the world. This is the setting.
Mm.
They're so numerous yet so diverse that you don't get a conformity, and I
Yeah.
like that.
I get that. Yeah.
So it's just a great job, really great job. Whoever sculpted these.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement on all the points there. I don't even have a counter. Yeah, I think what you said. Yeah, it's not one that I've got in my top 10 by any means, but I get why you like them, and it makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
Okay, that was a nice easy 16.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't. I don't think I could say any more, to be honest. Yeah, you nailed it, to be honest.
Well, okay, thank you.
So where are we at now?
It's number 7 for you.
Number 7 for me.
Right,
Okay.
let's jump on over.
Yeah, I really like this one, obviously.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is another one that I want to paint.
Yeah, I can understand why. So what we have at number 7 in my list is Quithuza the Croneseer. Is that I'm saying that right?
It is.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to start this off by saying I don't really know a lot about the Daughters of Cain. I don't really have a lot of interest in playing them. I don't like the aesthetic and the sculpt of them on the whole, but this model has always stood out for me. I think it's it's very different to a lot of the stuff that's in my list because it doesn't have the usual dynamic pose that suggests movement. It's quite the opposite, I think. You know, she seems more mystical or maybe ceremonial. You know, you get a sense of power from this model, and the crows give you a sense of darkness. It is a dark, foreboding looking miniature, I think. You know, I can really imagine it standing out on the table because you've got a lot of vertical elements with the sculpted base. Yeah, I think it's just I feel I don't really know what to say. It's just a really cool model. Again, you've got a lot of textures with the feathers, and it's quite monochromatic. It's black and white the way you see it. And a lot of the time, I don't agree with the standard Games Workshop paint jobs, but I think that it really lends itself nicely to this one.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I don't like about it. I think the
Okay.
paint job really lets this down, and it's one of the reasons why I struggled with it.
Okay.
I have to admit, I want to paint this,
Hmm.
but I didn't consider this for my list, and I don't know why. Lore-wise, she's a very interesting character.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know an awful lot about her. I'm just going purely on the visuals.
So she's almost like a counter to Maratha.
Okay.
It's like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
So if they do split the Daughters of Cain and they go into chaos or destruction, whatever faction, half of them, all the snaky ones and stuff, would probably go like a little bit more Marathi style and go that way. And some of the more good elements would perhaps go more towards this side of things, and they would have her as a count. Perhaps there is like so she's like a prophet,
Yeah.
kind of like a
Seer. Yeah.
as you would think. So the model doesn't have the gravitas that I want it to have, but I like that subdued nature to it, and that's one of the things that drew me to it. But the paint job, I don't know. For me, I've not seen a version of this model that I really liked, and I don't know what I mean by what I really liked.
Yeah.
I've looked at quite a few community paint jobs, and all of them have been fantastic.
Yeah. Just not in the style that
It's not even that. I don't. I think perhaps if I knew a little bit more about the character.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that's a fair point. If you had a bit of background, you could maybe form a different opinion. But I mean, I am talking about this one on face value, and I just think it's just it's a lovely sculpt, and it looks like it would be a real joy to paint for me. And I think we paint in very different ways, and we have very different ideas on painting itself. But I think I could do that justice with how I paint,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah,
and I think I would enjoy doing that, and I think that's probably why it sits as high as it does in my list.
I think I think you're right, and you should perhaps paint it at some point if you like it. You should.
Don't give me more to add to the back.
I think for me, it's the base. I need to understand more about her story and my sense that
Yeah,
the model I think is great, but I can't reconcile what I know of her with this base.
yeah,
And I understand why they painted the base as they've done it because she's got a lot of black on her.
yeah,
And it's just they're trying to bring the different textures out, so they need something to balance that out. And so,
yeah,
but they always seem to have elves on these curved bits of stone.
yeah. That's true.
On AOS and 40k, you see it, say it in Eldari, you see it in
Yeah,
some of the new Drakari, I think, are even on this. It's always this same pose, and I think what it is as well is when I look at this, I think Harryhausen, I think of Jason the Argonauts,
yeah,
I think of the harpies and such from that,
yeah,
and that's what almost like ancient Greek mythology, that kind of thing pulling
yeah.
into it.
Okay, yeah,
And I don't know how to tell that story on the base. There's a few bits and pieces here that just don't marry up with it. I think her as a centerpiece is great. I just I can't put Raya up on the list based off of the base. It's that's it for me.
okay. Fair
That's
enough.
it. Yeah,
Well,
good choice though.
good job. It's not in your top 10.
It is indeed. It is, but that's the point, isn't it? It's these interesting conversations. This is what I was super interested to talk to you about. Right, let me go. Let's see. Right, we're on seven. Seven for me. We're getting through these.
Okay.
Oh,
This is
that's odd.
this is more what I was expecting to see from your list.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is Festus the Leech Lord that we're looking at.
Festus the Leech Lord. It is indeed.
That was also my nickname in high school.
Oh,
It wasn't.
oh man, I just snorted. Oh my days. So there's humor in this. I didn't expect this. So Festus the Leech Lord, he is a character that I only expect to be refreshed or removed from the Maggotkin
Okay.
battle tome.
Yeah.
I hope he gets refreshed. I think he's going to be refreshed. I'm pretty certain that one of the rumor engine pictures from a couple of months back, I'm certain it was Festus.
Oh, I know which one you mean now. Yeah,
I'm certain it's Festus, and I hope they don't turn it down, tone him down.
Mm.
The thing that I would like is the derpy little nurgling to look less derpy.
yeah, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
But that's just me thing. I really, really enjoyed painting this guy.
Yeah, I can imagine why.
I did a nice little diorama base for him, so I put him on like I don't think you've ever seen it.
I don't think I have, no.
I don't think you've ever seen many of my Nurgle.
I've seen some of them, but I've not seen that one.
So I made a little jetty, like going into
cool.
a swamp. So he's stood on the end of the jetty. I've got like a little arm reaching up, like he's feeding people, and then pushing them into the swamp, and they're
Oh,
like
that's cool.
disappearing under the water. And I've got like a face floating in the water as well. It looks like it's peeled off from the acid that is.
Yeah. You'll have to
eating
send
them.
me a picture of that. It sounds cool.
I will indeed send you a picture. And there's so many macabre details that you don't see in this paint job. So this wooden thing that he's got on his back is full of body parts.
Yeah.
He's got like bone saws and things all hanging off of his back. Each one of them is an individual resin piece. This is a resin kit currently.
Oh, okay.
Fine cast. So it was a bit of a sod to put together.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Didn't enjoy that. Certainly painting in sub assemblies. So the hand and the flask that he's force feeding the guy. I had that as separate sub assemblies. The backpack as a separate sub assembly, and obviously the base a little diorama base that I did.
Yeah.
Made a little bit different. But it was just a glorious thing to paint. It came out really well, and I just loved it. I didn't expect to like it so much, but as a sculpt, this has for me around the right balance of horror and humor. Anything to the right of this, I think, is too much humor.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's that derpy nurgling is the one thing that I don't like about it.
The one with one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't
the only
do it for me. I like that he's throwing this chap's leg into the slop bucket on his back. And I would like to see Festus kind of looking down at the guy, almost like, forcing this grandfather's gift down his throat.
Yeah.
Like, Harvey, come on.
I do like this one. I can see why you've put it in your list. But you know what I can't get over?
Go on.
It reminds me of the Goblin King from the Middle-earth range.
Yep. Yep.
I think it's that.
It's the
chin, double chin. Yeah. And that is immediately what I think when I see this model, and that's all I can think about.
I get that. I get that. And I totally appreciate it. There's definitely that parity there. The reason it looked like it, and I didn't appreciate it at the time, is there's this parity with the toads.
Okay.
So again, I'm not going to pull them out this episode. I think they've got rid of them. I think they got rid of them in the last battle tome. Plague toads.
Okay.
I think you can still buy the Finecast ones. I do have some plague toads, and I have some poxwalkers on plague toads. They're super old. We saw some way down.
I remember them. Yeah.
He had a synergy with some of those, I believe.
Okay, so it's
second edition,
leaning towards that toad element.
Yeah, so it does lean into that. If we see a resculpt of this, I would be absolutely there for it. I hope they don't tone it down. I have a feeling if they do, they won't have him force feeding somebody the poison. I think that Games Workshop might be a little bit too far now.
Yeah, maybe so.
I can get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah. Okay. It's cool. It's a cool model though. I mean, I do like it. Apart from what I said about it, it reminded me of the Goblin King. I don't like the tree or the staff. With the skulls hanging from it.
Yep.
That looks out of place to me. Or is that part of the backpack? I don't know. I can't tell what it is. And
that's
what I don't like.
He's a caster.
Oh, it's like a staff.
Yeah, so you'll see on some of the other Magickin models.
I just don't think it fits for some reason. I can't really put my finger on why, but it doesn't seem to fit.
It's got a overly cartoon aesthetic of this because it's supposed to be from the Gnarlwood.
Okay, right. Okay. Well, now you said it, kind of puts it in a little bit more perspective.
I can't remember what the other units are called, because I've got the other. There's a cast. Oh, you're right. The Covenant. You can take 3 of them, but the sculpt. But they've refreshed the range with the plague castery things. You could take 1, or you could take 3.
Right.
And I had the classic one, and then I had 2 different versions of the new sculpt, and they all have very similar staffs to that all of the Nurgle casters do. Because there's only
okay.
So are there only 4 casters? No, there's not. There's the one from the Underworld warband. I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
And there's the Glotkin.
Yeah.
They've got a caster in it.
Yeah.
And then there's the whatever they're called, the 3 casters and him. They're the only ones, I think.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that was a lot of stuff you didn't need to know. It's just fantastic sculpt. I hope they redo it. The only thing that I want to see from this, and this is the reason why I put it on a dioramic, is that even a word?
Yeah.
A dioramic base of the correct gaming size, is he is out of scale. He's too small.
Okay.
Because he's such an old model.
Yeah. Okay, so it's ready for a refresh. So.
Yeah. I think it was originally a metal model that then they redid in resin.
Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps. And yeah.
We are going back a fair while then.
Oh yeah, so he definitely needs upscaling. He's
okay.
Did
he? All right.
But it's a wonderful model. Really like this one a lot, man.
Cool.
He was another one that was originally much higher up my list.
I'm interested to see what's knocked him down then. So that takes us to number 6.
Number 6 for you. Hold on. I'm having You made the link so small. I can't click on it. There we go.
I knew it would be my fault. You got it?
Oh.
Mhm.
I do now.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, right. Okay. The Grimhold Exile.
That's it.
This I'm surprised. Oh, look.
You surprised?
Yeah.
So, all right. So number 6, I've got the Grimhold Exile from the Fire Slayers range. Now this is one of my, if not my favorite sculpt from the Fire Slayers range.
Really?
Yeah, you seem surprised at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Why?
it just, for me, you just get this sense of movement that you don't with a lot of the other Fire Slayers. You know, he's ready to leap from his ruined stone base. You've got the twin hammers with the smoke and the fire coming out of it. It screams anger and vengeance to me. It just adds to that character. I mean, lore-wise, you know, these guys are survivors of fallen magma holds, hell-bent on revenge. And that model just, that's what it says to me. I mean, it's not your standard comedy dwarf. He looks angry and dangerous. That's
Yeah.
why I like it. I've painted this model. I really enjoyed painting it. I don't think the angle that you see on this picture does it a lot of
I was
justice.
just going to say that's not the golden angle for it.
It
I
isn't.
didn't even see that fire at first.
Yeah, it really isn't. When you see it from the side or you see it from above, it's a completely different model. It's another one that's got a lot of texture that you don't really get the sense of from this. Yeah, it's a half naked dwarf, but I mean, you look at the textures on the hair.
Best type of dwarf.
I mean, you've got the texture on the hair, you've got the texture on the smoke. You know, he's wrapped in he's not wearing sort of trousers as such. He's sort of wrapped in like straps of leather around his legs and that. Don't laugh at me. But really, it just it adds a lot of character to me. I know I keep saying that about all of these, but I look at that and that's somebody that I want to tell a story. I want to name this guy. You know what I mean? I want to get my creative juices flowing and think of a backstory of, well, he's from a fallen magma hold. Like, what happened there? Like, why is he the last one? You know, this is why he's hell bent on revenge. Like, I want to know more and I want to create that. And, you know, I want to put that across in my paint job. You know, my fire slayers look very different to this. You know, they've got really pallid, almost, you know, grey skin, and they've got purple hair. And this, you know, the heat element on mine, it doesn't come from usual fire tones. It's got like a pinky hue because the story behind mine is the sort of stuck in shade. That's a story for another time. But you know, mine are very, very differently painted to this. You know, I've got much more of a pop of color with purple, even though it's dark because the skin's pale and my runes aren't that sort of warm gold that you see there. But I think as a sculpt, it it really encapsulates what the Fire Slayers are to me. Um, it looks aggressive. It doesn't have that sort of overweight laddie comedy element that you see, you know, that you see with some of the Caradron models. And you know, if you think about the old world dwarfs and things like that, it's quite far removed from that. It looks like a little angry dude, but he looks savage, and he's got 2 hammers, which is really cool. I mean, you can't really get more brutal than this guy. You imagine him jumping off this plinth into, you know, just an absolute pack of, let's say, Skaven clan rats, to hark it back to your choice, just absolutely smashing them up with 2 hammers. That's where my mind goes when I look at this model, and that's why he's number 6 in my list.
I mean, you made me think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I enjoyed your it was clear there's been a couple of your choices where you seem passionate about it, and that's
Mm.
really cool. And that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all.
Okay. What do you like about it?
Everything.
Everything.
It's just not for me.
No?
Perhaps it's because I don't like dwarfs.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I prefer dwarfs to elves.
As you should.
Absolutely. I think I don't like any of the AOS dwarfs other
Right.
than Grumbrindle.
Yeah.
Do I not like them? Do I not? I don't know. They're not for me.
Yeah.
Of the dwarfs, I think the Fire Slayers are probably the ones that I like the most.
Yeah.
But I think it's difficult to do anything in a heroic scale.
Yeah.
Of something that's small scale anyway,
Mm.
dynamically. And I think that's what it is. All of the things that you said, I get. And I don't think that this photography is flattering by any means.
No, it's not.
But I just, I don't know.
There's something about it that's
Yeah, it just
feels
doesn't do it for me. It's not resonating with me at
Well,
all.
I think that's the difference, isn't it? It really did resonate with me. I mean, he's not in the spearhead, is he? But I saw this model, and it's kind of what pushed me in the direction of that spearhead because
Yeah.
I have since got this model. It was in the Flame Breakers box that I picked up.
Is
Yeah,
it a
it was.
Warcry one?
No, it was I don't know what box it is. No, the Warcry is the completely different. I don't know. It wasn't in another set, an old set that I got on eBay. But I basically wanted it for this and just to get some more of the chaffy units, and I did.
Oh yeah, I remember it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's one of the sculpts that drew me to the Fire Slayers on the whole, and that's why it's made my list.
It's Dan, that's fine. Yeah, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is perhaps if they redid the range, not like the Hellsmiths,
Mm.
if they redid the range well. That's not to say that no, sorry, that's really harsh, isn't it? Some of the
whole
Hells
thing in it's not harsh.
No, well, yeah, some of the Hellsmiths are growing on me now. They've got into the community. I can
Not
see
for me.
I can see the paint schemes that are working. They're still not for me.
Yeah.
I've listened to some of the designer commentary of why things look like they do, and I've enjoyed that. But by the by, this style doesn't sit well with some of the other ones. Take the Free Guild Marshal, for example.
Yeah.
If they did this, or if the same sculptor did this in that style, different story.
Give it a more weary,
This is
and look.
no, not even that. They could take this one for one and sculpt it in that style.
Yeah.
Not making it look very just modern.
Yeah.
Because even though this is a fairly recent sculpt,
I think
comparatively,
yeah,
the night and day, if you look at those two models, this doesn't, right now, it feels like that there's more of the newer stuff that has a visual coherency.
Yeah.
This doesn't fit in. That said, the Hellsmiths, I personally don't feel that fits in with the stuff like from Free Guild, from the newer Soulblight, from whatever other new armies have recently come out that look like that Oryx.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit in, and it's that this has the old world all over it for me. It's more that.
I get that.
It's more that.
There is an old world model where I don't know what it is, but you see it painted. He's got white hair. He is jumping off a piece of stone, and I think he's got 2 axes rather than 2 hammers. But it's very reminiscent of that one. And yeah, I think I can understand why you're saying that.
Okay, then number 6 for me, I think is. Let's jump back in and
Oh, okay. I'm surprised this is at number 6. I thought, if anything, this was going to be way up near the top. This is the Blades of the Hollow game box.
it is indeed Kader Ezekiel,
Yeah.
Sysandra and Ilarius
Yeah.
with Kenestrix.
I'm not going to lie, this almost made my top 10, but it didn't. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I really love this one as well. But yeah, tell me about it.
me too. Well, as you know, Kader is my favorite AOS character.
Yeah.
By a significant margin. Is definitely the character that I know most about, and I love this sculpt for him.
Yeah.
I
Kado specifically.
yeah. Well, I like all of the sculpts, to be honest. Ilarius is probably the weakest for me.
Illyrius is the one, not the snake one.
No, that is
is.
Ilarius. So Ilarius is he's the mortal. He's a mortal. This is so bad. By the way, Wayne can't speak.
We have both been at work all the
Let
time.
me say again. He is a mortal, not an immortal.
Yes, that's right. Sorry, I
So
didn't know.
yeah, he's like a necromancer.
Yeah.
with his snake Kenestrix.
Yeah.
There's something about that sculpt I'm not feeling. I get why he looks like he does because of where he sits in with Sikaar and with Neferata and all of that good stuff there.
Yeah.
That model is very static for me. I get it, and it's fine. And also the paint job I don't like. I think I'll like it more once I've painted my versions of them.
Yeah, I really like your version.
And I've not painted them yet.
You have, haven't you?
I've definitely not. Get out of my future, Will.
No, I've seen.
I have 100% not. I'm telling you, they are primed black on my to paint shelf.
I'm sure I've seen.
You have 100%
I've
not.
played against it.
You have definitely not played against it.
What am I thinking?
I have no idea, mate. But it is
You've
not
got another vampire lord that looks very similar then.
like Sikaar, the one that I just talked about.
Yeah.
It's not vampire, but you've never played against her.
No?
No.
Who's the vampire lord in your army that I played against?
Kader.
Yeah. So it's the different sculpt?
Yeah.
Yes, that's where I'm getting confused. It is because he doesn't have that ghost behind it. Anyway, sorry, carry on. As you were, that's me being daft.
Okay, so moving forward, what I was just going to say about Kader was I prefer this sculpt to his previous sculpt, which is the one that you're
All right. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. I'm with you. I gotta say, I think I prefer the previous, but this is your list, not mine.
I think they've got very different utility.
Yeah.
And as characters, I think I prefer this one because he's got what's a face behind him. I can't remember her name. The ghost. She's got a name.
All right. Okay.
She has a name.
Apologies if you're picking up any sounds of my dog squealing in the background.
Yes, stop it. He's very excited as well.
Yeah, he is.
Should have. Definitely too excited. But yeah, I think the older sculpt of him didn't really convey some of the stuff that's in the lore now.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I haven't read that much of the lot. I do have the Hollow King book that I've bought to read, so maybe I'll get a different perspective when I've read that.
So there's a couple of things about this that I don't like, and these are very minor details, and I don't think unless you really know about the character, you will pick up on. But it's important aspect.
Okay.
He doesn't have his rings on. He only has one of them in
Ring
gold.
on fingers?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So each one of the rings has a different spirit bound to it. She comes from one of the rings, and she's his confidant. She was his teacher in life.
Right, okay.
And the whole thing with Kader, his backstory that you'll find out about, is that
Your spoilers.
it isn't a spoiler, but he's perhaps I won't go into it.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You'll read, but
Maybe
but
it'll
that's
change
me.
my perspective on this sculpt when I read it then.
But then something that happens in the books that you will read. So you need to read Hollow King, and then you need to read the follow-on one, Deadlands,
Dead Kingdom?
Dead Kingdom.
Yeah, is that? Yeah.
He loses some of his rings, so I don't know where this model is supposed to be set.
Right, okay.
Because we're in the ever present in the gaming universe, so he's like, oh, but is that kind of a spoiler then for Kado's arc that he's not going to get his rings back?
Oh,
So I don't know. So
we'll find
that. But in terms of dynamicism, I think Sisandra is a really great model. Again, I don't think the paint job does the sculpt much favor in conveying that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed building these. I've had to build them with a couple of sub-assemblies, especially for the Kader model and obviously Lyris and Kenestrix. But it's difficult because there's sculpted on elements of each of the characters on the bases. So like Kenestrix, the snake, has Lyris's hand molded onto it.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I would have normally done is gap filled the wrist, but once I've painted that, so there's some interesting choices, and I get why it's done that because of the casting. And I personally, I know people hate the nature of how Games Workshop put their kits together now. I would much personally rather have more dynamic models like these than the ability to customize static arm and leg positions like the old RTB or 2 box set or whatever it was, RTB or 1 box. But it does make customization harder, not impossible.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
On the flip to that, it does make painting them, if you want to paint in sub-assemblies, more difficult. So, it's 6 of one, half of a dozen at t'other. But yeah, these models, I just think they're brilliant, and I love the character. I like how they've progressed his story. I like the more aggressive stance of Kado compared to the more stoic one in the previous sculpt, which was a very recent sculpt as well, by the way. It's only a couple of years old. But I couldn't put him higher up in my list just because I liked the character.
Yeah.
And when I look at the unit rather than the sculpt of just him, and this is a unit list, remember?
Yeah.
Got to go on the strength of all of them. Illyris lets it down a little bit. There's elements of Sisandra that let it down. I don't like a hair for one. How it's done. I would have much rather. I'd like to have seen it more flowing behind her. I think she is supposed to be from Cathay. So
yeah, you mentioned that before. So you get why it's in that braid.
I get why it's in that style.
I like that,
but it doesn't do it for me. I would have liked more of the way that she comes across in the stories. She's very stealthy, very fast.
Okay.
Do you know the Vampire Lord? And it looks like the bat. Her hair is becoming a bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen something like that. I think that would have been just chef kiss. But I'm wondering if they didn't do that because they'd already done it on the previous female vampire lord one.
Maybe so. I don't like that sculpt actually.
Do you not?
No, I don't.
No, I don't like the vampire. No, the one that's in the. Oh, I just
In
touched
the-
my eye with my hot saucy finger, even though I've washed it. Ah, that's painful.
Are you okay to carry on?
Yeah, I'm going to carry on. No, I'm just going to
The-
be like, "Arr."
In the original Soulblight
Yeah,
spearhead.
yeah. That's why I swapped it out for the Kado because I'm not a massive fan of the models.
I think I'd have done the same, to be honest.
But then again, the Vampire Lord and Nightmare Steed, there's one with hair that's quite similar. It's not got the bats, but it's got the same
Yeah.
flowing element.
Oh.
But yeah, I love this group. I love this unit. I'm really looking forward to painting it. Which you seem to think I've already done it. So hopefully my paint job lives up to what's already in your head.
So there's another sculpt of Kado. That's where I was getting confused.
Farseer will.
Along
Farseer will. So hopefully I'll enjoy that as much as well. But yeah, what do you think of these guys?
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for them. I think it'll probably put it in more context when I read that book. I think I'm probably going to touch on that later when we do a little update. But just as far as face value goes, I really like them. I like all three. They all bring something a little bit different. Again, they just convey a lot of character. And yes, I know that they are named characters, but I think you get a real sense. I mean, you look at them and you know what they are. You know they're vampires, and well, two of them are. But yeah, I've got a lot of time for it. I think there's a lot of differences between the three sculpts. There's a lot of expression on the faces, a lot of movement involved with them, and it's cool because there's snakes. Like that is cool.
I mean, snakes with two heads.
Yeah, I like snakes. Yeah, I like the. Do you know what it reminds me of? And this is going to sound a bit left field. The posing reminds me of the Gaunt's Ghost models a little bit. I don't know.
It's the trees.
The trees and the flowing cloaks, and they're some of my favorite sculpts. So I know we're not talking about our favorite 40k sculpts. Maybe we'll do that another time. But kind of reminiscent of that. It's that same style. I wonder if it might have been done by same people. But that's what it makes me think of, and that's I'm there for that style of sculpt. I'd like to paint them. Like I look at them and I think that'd be a fun little paint job. So I said a little paint job, but
you can literally take these. Yeah, it's a regiment.
I know.
You can take them.
Oh yeah, I thought about it.
You could definitely smash them.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of little elements of this. I like the dragon on the back of the cloak. I like the sort of the almost Blood Angels ruby and the clasp on the cloak on the front. It's just down to little things like pulling the sword out of the sheath is a really nice touch because it's half out, half in. I like that. It's this kind of thing is what AOS is all about to me. There for it.
I love them. They're really good.
Yeah, I just don't like the top knot element that Kado has, but I know that's part of his character. But it reminds me of Abaddon.
It's all right.
I'm picking up.
The ball guy's been hard, isn't it? Let's not go there again.
Yeah, but no, I think on the whole, really cool models. There's a hell of a lot of depth in character, and it's everything I look for in a miniature. Basically. Yeah, I'm with you there.
I'm with you
didn't make my top 10, but there was a thought process on putting it in, but you'll probably see why as I go through the rest of mine, why it isn't there. So
fair dues. Fair dues. Shall we get into the top 5 then?
Yeah,
with yours.
We're in the top 5 now. So
crikey, right? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you think to this one.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So I considered this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. This was in my actual top 10. Pretty much until the end.
Oh, okay. This is a
Deathmaster, isn't it?
Yeah, Skaven Deathmaster we're looking at here. So I completely agree with everything you said about the Skaven. I really did. I'm just not as much of a fan of the clan rats as you. When I think of Skaven, this is the kind of picture that I have in my head of this Deathmaster. It's an assassin, isn't it? Is it Clan Eshin?
It is indeed.
Yeah. I can just imagine him lurking in the shadows, doing that whole strike when least expected thing. And that's what really does that idea justice to me. That's what I like. That's the kind of Skaven element that I like. He looks dangerous. He looks stealthy. It fits that thematic for me. and it's cool. He's got a throwing star dripping with poison, and it looks a little bit on the nose, but I think it's just sinister enough to work. And again, that one looks like it'd be really fun to paint. And again, I think this could be a narrative focus for me if I ever did look down that Skaven route. Yeah, I feel like you could have a lot of fun with the backstory of him. I feel like that could be a real model you could put in Path to Glory and expand upon, and that's why I like it. I think you've got a lot of the similar things that you said about the clan nuts with the textures. I'm not a huge fan of that sort of stone half arch that he's sat on, but I think you could probably change that quite easily with a little bit of customization. But I like the sort of pale tail and the pale skin that he's got. It looks like he's almost unwell. Like, it's just a really cool sculpt. I mean, yeah, that's it really. It's one of them ones that I look at and I just think that's really cool more than anything.
I agree with you on everything. I really like this sculpt. I've owned it twice and I've not painted it because it's one of those models where I don't think I can paint it well enough that what's in my head. I don't think I'm good enough that I could get it out. There's two models I've had like this, and another one that I was going to put in the list that's not on here was, is there a warband? There's a Skaven warband, isn't there, from Underworlds?
Not the newer one where
No,
the one that's in that wheel thing.
and it was a very similar sculpt to this. If it's not this sculpt, I'm sure it's something like this where it's on like a pipe.
I'm not
Steel
sure.
pipe.
I'll take your word for it. I'll have a look afterwards. But
And yeah, neither of them I've managed to. I think I could perhaps have a better go now, but
yeah,
this is one of those models that I think there's such an absence of detail
yeah,
that it pushes you into a different level of painting for you to be able to do it well. I don't think that this paint scheme, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with the heavy metal style, but for me, this doesn't read how I would need it to read in my head. This almost looks like Splinter. And I kind of,
now you said it.
I kind of
it's
get that.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Ninja Turtles, but for me, I'm usually not a huge fan of the heavy metal style, but I think it works on this model. I do. I think, as you said, because there is a bit of, a lack of fine detail in it, I think you can make that stand out with, the dripping poison being green as a, really different color to the purple that's on the hood. That's how I'd paint it, I think.
No, I get you. I get you. I think for me, this is another one of those models that is a project in itself. So this is, I see it as a base, and this is, like, as I say, I've tried to attack it twice and I've never managed to get past the ideas stage. Every time I think I've got it, I'm like, that's going to do it. So like, there needs to be some water element involved for me.
Okay. On the base,
yeah,
thing, yeah.
there just has to be. And again, how Games Workshop base and pose their photographs isn't for me. But there needs to be more texture on the cloth elements for it.
Yeah.
It needs to be dirtier, danker. There needs to be, like, the trousers just don't read right. The black cape, I know it's Eshen. I get it. But this is too clean. And there's such an absence of texture on the model itself compared to some of the newer clan rats in terms of like furry elements here, there, and everything.
Yeah.
You've got to be a very high level painter, I think, to be able to do this justice. I know I've whinged a lot about micro textures on some of the stuff I've been doing on other platforms where we've been painting. I'm talking about painting, but I don't think that this has that, and that's why I took it out of my list. I think if it had some more of those details, I'd be more inclined. And the face, I don't think is as good as some of the newer stuff, and that detracts from the overall sculpt for me. I know it sounds really, really pretentious, but
No, it doesn't at all. I get everything you're saying, but the points you're making, for me, it is an assassin. He's meant to be blending in the shadows. He's not meant to be standing out to that extent, and that for me is why it works. So for why it doesn't work for you is why it does work for me, I think. I hope that makes sense.
no, I don't, because it's completely the other way around. I think he stands out too much.
Oh, okay.
There's not enough to bring it together. And I know that we've talked about before, this is part of Games Workshop's style where they paint every single detail to show the fact that there is detail on the model. But I just don't think it works on this model.
Okay.
I think what it's missing is that extra detail in the sculpt that you then blend in to make it look like it's part of the environment.
Okay.
So it has like a ruffled cloak or something, like for then if he's hiding in like a fur pile or in the corner of an alley with loads of rags around, so he can take that, or he can pull it back and it's smooth on the inside and gives it that black thing, so he's hiding in the shadows. At the moment, it's just a blank canvas, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then you've got the elements like the slime and such. This again, it comes across much like the Fire Slayer one for me. I think I really like this one though, but it's just too cartoony. I'd have to do too much to it, and that I don't feel like my ability is there to be able to do this justice. So taking that out of the equation and looking at just a sculpt, I think there's too much that I feel I would have to do to rectify that to warrant it in this list, that it almost becomes not a unit. It's just an art piece. Then there's a lot to it, but it's a cool sculpt, absolutely, and I can totally appreciate why it's in your list. So again, there's been another crossover in there. This is literally one of the ones where I backed and forward for ages.
Yeah, I don't want this to sound, like a pompous statement, but these are the discussions why we started a podcast, because we have very similar ideas, we have very different ideas, and we have different opinions on some things, similar ones on other things. So it's really cool to hear this top 10 list. We haven't looked at each other's list. We've kept this completely separate, and yeah, it's a really cool chat to have this. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about that. So do we want to move over to your number 5?
Let's jump over to my number 5.
Your number 5. We have the Swamp Caller Shaman with Pot Grop like we had before.
We have indeed. So yeah, this is, I don't want to say too much about it before. Yeah, this is one of my favorite models. Yeah, so I absolutely love this model. There we go again. And it's all me this time, isn't it? It's not. It's going to be 505 for me at this rate, mate. Yeah, like you in your list, this is a really great model. I'm painting it at the moment, not like this, but I'm hoping that I'm doing on display base just for myself, and I'm hoping that it's going to kind of lay the foundation for any future green skins that I do. And by that, I mean kind of give me the recipe for how I want to do the skin. Not green like this. I want to do it a green pallid kind of hue.
Okay.
But not green like this. And obviously I want to have the whatever stuff is pouring from that bowl as a glowing effect that will light in from the side.
What colour are you going for to offset the green or to complement the green? What are you thinking?
Red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It's the one that I've just painted. I've just painted some green skins for a friend, a couple of them.
The yellow.
Yeah. I kind of the iron jaws, and I did that iron jaw of it. I don't know what it is, a shaman.
I think so.
I did that as green glow because that's what I wanted. But for me, it doesn't work. I'd rather go with something red. I think that evil red glow against the green, gives more gremlin-y, underworldy kind of.
You're looking away from the almost comedy element and going for a more serious type.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, as we talked about earlier, that's why I really like the Cruel Boys compared to the normal GW Orcs. I really like that more vicious, animalistic look to them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think this model you can kind of get away with either or, depending on how you paint it. But I can definitely see why you're thinking of doing what you're thinking.
Yeah. The pot grot is where I'm going to start doing something a little bit different, because I don't want my grots to be green at all.
Oh, no.
I'm going to go pink.
Interesting.
Pink, yeah, man. I've been thinking about it for years. I mean, it's like are they called hobgrots in this? Hobgoblins? Hobgrots. They are called hobgrots. Yeah. They're kind of like a more fleshy color.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to go with, I think. And I want to have that kind of progress up into the full size orcs.
Yeah.
But starting to lean more towards the green.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it'll be almost like a gradient. I want the base color to be the flesh like the flesh color of the hobgrots. Almost like as they grow, they get not more decayed, because I don't want to lean into the Nurgle side of things, but almost like they become more
It's part of like an aging process.
kind of, yeah,
Okay, yeah. I think
or a
I'm with
growth. I don't know how the progression works in orcs. Are you born
you in the biology
a grot
sense.
and then become an orc, or are they distinct species inside of the same genus? I don't know. But in my head, it makes kind of sense to kind of go towards this progression through the ranks.
So when you say pink, are you thinking what, like a soft pink?
Yeah, like a fleshy, almost.
Yeah.
Thinking more like, you get some lizards that are a pinky color.
Yeah, it's quite soft. Not
Yeah,
like a
not like a hot pink or anything
Yeah,
like that. So thinking more of a like a standard flesh tone,
Hmm.
because that already looks. I'm doing it all the time now. That all right. Stop for a second. Think of it like this. This is my logic. We've been conditioned to take orcs and orcoids. Let's call it orcoids.
Yeah.
Through the social zeitgeist of all of the fantasy things, mostly green.
Yeah.
So we have this bias to think these things are green.
Yeah.
So as soon as you paint them a different color, it's already slightly uncomfortable.
Mm.
And to paint something the color that you associate with human or close to it,
Yeah.
it feels uncomfortable straight away anyway, because you've got this thing that you're familiar with, these two things that you're familiar with,
Yeah.
conflated together, and it is kind of, you can't reconcile one with the other. And that's what I kind of want to get to, because I feel like, because they're humanoid, even though they're not, it's not anthropomorphized
Yeah.
in that respect, there's still this human-like quality with them being bipedal.
Yeah.
And doing that with the colors kind of almost makes it feel more evil.
Yeah.
And vicious for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
get
then as
that,
you
yeah.
progress from one to the other, I don't, perhaps there is some type of, assuming that the fungoid in nature,
Yeah.
that they go from being grots, something triggers them to the next stage of evolution, or perhaps it's something in an earlier part of their life cycle that denotes whether they're going to be grots or whether they're going to be orcs or whatever. In my head, that could then change from a grot into an orc.
Yeah.
So having that through line of color in somewhere, which would be the undertone. So perhaps it's just the top parts of the skin. You start to see it come through on the ends of the arm, where it's greener, on the things, the end of the nose, perhaps around the fleshier parts where there's more weight to the flab or whatever. Even though they're quite muscular, often they're quite bulky, whereas the cruel boys are quite lithe. You could see it perhaps on the neck or on the stomach, again coming back to that sort of like reptilian kind of
Yeah.
aesthetic, where you've got a hide of one color and a belly of the other.
Well, if you look
Colour.
on the paint job here, sorry to interrupt.
No,
They've got slightly different colored noses, and if you look at the elbow on the pot grot as well, it's all, I don't know if that's meant to mimic the light coming from the cauldron, but it wouldn't, because it's on the swamp collar shaman as well. But they've got elements of that there. I mean, on a very much less drastic nature, but yeah, I see where you're coming from.
So yeah, I think there's a lot of scope with this model. I like it. I like the direction of it. It has a lot of character, as you already conveyed so well in your version of this. It's got a story to it. There's a lot of things you can do with it. It can go in multiple directions, and I think that's why this sits for me so highly in my list at my number 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Shall we jump into number 4?
Yeah.
For you, let's see what we've got here. How long it's gonna have.
Excuse me.
Come on. Open. Here we go.
Is it working?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Jelson Durrett.
Jelson Darrock. Yeah. So we've got my first model from the Cursed City box in the list. Might be a bit of a spoiler there, but yeah, I really like this one. It's very obviously a vampire or witch hunter, isn't it? He's got a very stereotypical big hat, long coat. He's got all the equipment, like his stake and his firearms. It's just really cool. It suggests a really sort of gritty a great level of experience doing what he's been doing, rather than this heroic purity like some of the models do. And that really fits in with the Cursed City lore.
Yeah.
To me, I really, I mean, you guys know, if you've listened to the previous episodes, how much we like Cursed City. But yeah, this model ticks a lot of boxes for me. I think it's cool because you could use it within Cities of Sigmar. Something we've already talked about with the previous model in the list. But yeah, that's Jelsa Darek. Again, I looked at that model before I knew anything about the character, before I knew much about Cursed City as well, and immediately reminded me of have you seen the film Van Helsing?
Indeed. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and I know that's it's probably not the most critically acclaimed film in the world, but I really liked it, and it kind of just it gives me that vibe, and that's why I like it more than anything. I mean, the pose is fairly simplistic, but I think there's a lot of elements to this sculpt that I like. I think there's a lot of elements on it that you could paint as if it was catching the light. I think there's a lot
Yeah.
you could do with that. You've got the big buckle going across his chest on the strap. The way that they've painted some of the angles on the armor on the shoulder and the knees, I think you could do a lot painting them, and on the staff. There's a lot of different textures. There seems to be a bit of a theme here that we like, that idea that there's a few different textures. And yeah, I think it's just a cool model. I like how the hat sort of frames the model itself. Like, you don't really see a lot of his face, and it kind of keeps that sort of darker element. Like, this guy looks like he means business, like he's mean, even though he's a good guy. He doesn't look like the stereotypical good guy hero, you know?
I'm totally everything you said is bang on the money. I love this model.
Yeah. I think
Go again.
it can't be stated enough. Like, I think some of the sculpts in that Cursed City box are some of the best in the entire range of AOS. And I think they're
Totally agree.
criminally underused, because a lot of them are just used in that game.
It is atrocious, but I think perhaps it kicked off a new wave of sculpting. I think it is a wonderful sculpt. I think you've done really well with that one. I hadn't even considered those because they've removed them from the website.
Yeah.
So I didn't think to look at the heroes, because there's some really good ones in there. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, he is the best of them.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. And I think having that, it's because he's kind of one of the, it's not Inquisition, what they're called.
What?
He is a witch hunter, but I
Yeah.
can't remember what they're called.
But the order has a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't.
Order of Vizier.
Yeah, that's the one. Order of Vizier.
It's kind of like a parallel to the Inquisition.
Yeah.
I really like that aspect. I really like that real world kind of take on this, where they've taken that trope of, like, say, a quintessential vampire hunter,
Yeah.
and brought it into AOS and given it a place, but kind of taking it out of being just a vampire hunter and making that the look for the Inquisition, for the Order of Vizier, having a certain aesthetic to it that kind of leans into that witch hunter, vampire hunter tone. And I think they've done it really well. It's one of those things where, yes, you can paint it however you want, and you should paint it however you want, but there is a specific look that I think the majority of people have.
Yeah.
And they've just nailed it.
I don't think I would paint that drastically different. I mean, I might do different accent color instead of red, but I think I'd do a lot of the dark brown, the dull metallics, the black gloves. Sorry, I think that leans really well into that aesthetic for Cursed City and for this guy on his own. I wouldn't want to change that. I don't think he needs to be bright. He doesn't need to be flashy. You can
Agreed.
pick out, you can pick out some really cool bits, like the brassy look on the butt of the spear gun. Some of the weapons you could, do some really cool highlighting where the metal's catching the light, and I think that that'll shine through. And I mean literally and figuratively, I suppose. That's what's going to catch your eye with that model, rather than it being brightly painted or being this over the top sculpt, because it's very much not an over the top sculpt. It's quite grounded in reality.
Yeah, it's subdued, isn't it?
Yeah,
For Warhammer Hunters.
you look at that, that's a human male, and there isn't anything overtly fantastical about it. in the sense, there's no tendrils of magic energy, there's nothing like that. I mean, yes, he's got like, a spear gun to kill vampires with, but all of that is grounded in reality. There's nothing there that couldn't exist in real life, theoretically, is there? I
Oh,
that
no.
I think that's a really cool element of it because you can picture that as being real, and that's another reason why I like it.
I think that's one of the really interesting things as well. I think it's a really good juxtaposition against everything else that's kind of going on in that world, because as you say, it's a normal human. Yes, it's a fantastical human, but there isn't anything out of the ordinary. This is just a guy that's been given a task. He has a belief. There's nothing special about him other than his knowledge.
Yeah, and he's not being made to, be 8 feet tall or have superhuman muscles
Yeah,
or
it's
anything. Just a regular
just a
dude.
bloke, innit?
Yeah.
It's just Jelson.
Yeah.
Good old Jelson. Good old Jelson. Yeah,
Sorry.
this is a cracking choice. I'm there for it.
Cool.
I'm there for it, man.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one. I'm surprised that hasn't been in your list actually, because I thought it might be, or something from this box.
Yeah.
Suppose we still have 4 to go.
Four?
Yeah.
4? Should we jump over at my 4?
Yeah, let's do it. Let me pull it up. So what have you got, number 4?
And as if by magic,
Death Rattle Skeletons.
Death Rattle Skeletons.
Yeah.
So these are the revised versions that Games Workshop just put out, almost like a stealth drop. But the ones that I was thinking for me were the ones that came in the Curse City box.
Yeah.
Just the standard ones. Now, to go back to something that you said earlier, I love these models. The sculpts are fantastic. Painting them is such fun. They're simple yet so characterful. Absolute nightmare to put together, and that's what this upgraded version solves.
Yeah.
They made it easier to build them. They made them less prone to breaking, while keeping that really gorgeous, like dynamic, flowing, just visual to them. I mean, you might even say that these are slightly better than the original sculpt. There's something more shambly about them. They look, they've got this almost like they can't move because they don't have any muscle.
Yeah.
And the way that some of them are stood, like that they can't even hold themselves straight. You know what I mean? It's like these look so good. I want to get some more Death Rattle Skeletons in my army, I think.
Yeah.
I love zombies, but these are just like next level. And yeah, I'm there for them. I'm absolutely there for these guys.
I'm glad you put that in, actually. I can't disagree with anything you've said. I really, really like these two.
My problem, I suppose, I mean, these are quite high. These are 4. I mean, there's so much you can do with these. I've seen so many of these in competitions.
Yeah.
For like high level painting, just single ones you can pull out, and like something so simple. It's a great canvas for like flexing your painting prowess on. But there's so much character to these, and then when you look at these next to something like, and I'm not using this to have a go or anything like that, but when you look at these compared to the Fire Slayers, it's night and day. These look like grown up models compared to its sculpt, and it's that difference. And I think that's why I don't like some of the Fire Slayers. When you see stuff like this and the newer Soul Blight elements, some of the newer what do you call them, the stabby orky ones that we just talked about, Cruel Boils, even some of the newer Stormcast, it's night and day. But then you see the Hellsmith and you're just like, what were you, but whatever.
Yeah.
These are just, as you said, that Curse City box set spoiled us. It is so bloody good. It's next level. And these, I don't have a bad word to say about them. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it really ties in really nice with what's about to come next from my list as well.
Okay. Should we just jump into?
I'll tell you before you even put it up.
No, don't. Don't spoil it.
Sorry.
This is all the only excitement I have in my life, for Christ's sake. Oh, wow. Captain Helgrim. Yeah, I'm with you. So this is a great sculpt.
Yeah, it's Watch Captain Helgrim from the Curse City box.
This is number 3 for you, isn't it?
Number 3 for me, yeah. Honestly, I was debating whether to put this guy at number 1 at one point.
Wow.
It's that good for me. And yep, there's another from the Curse City box. I mean, Halgrim to me captures a lot of what makes the Death Rattle guys compelling, similar to what you've said. I'm guessing, I don't want to just reiterate what you've said, but when you look at him, he's got his worn armor with his skeleton form sort of peering through the gaps. He's got a ragged cloak and he's got a massive halberd, which gives him this really sort of commanding pose to sort of set him apart from these rank and file guys. It's a really cool balance with, the decayed undead traits, but he's still got this semblance of martial pride with his officer's gear. And it gives him a really strong presence and sense of character, even though it's a relatively similar sculpt to the ones you've just described. I'm really looking forward to painting this guy. I've built him, I've based him with our sort of, common basing theme that we've done. And, I really enjoyed building him and I'm really looking forward to painting him for all the reasons that you've just said about the Death Rattle. I share it with him. So, yeah, that kind of tied that in nicely accidentally, didn't it?
It did. It did. And it's interesting to see how we've kind of moved towards these as we get into the top of his lists. You might even say that, like, it's almost counter to some of the stuff we've talked about before, where this is even more simplistic, I suppose, in some respects, than something like the Death Master.
Yeah.
But it's such, again, characterful. There's a story there. It's emotive. But it fits in the right way in that world for me, compared to something like the High Marshal or whatever it's called, dude on the horse. This has, I mean, it's the fact that it's a skeleton.
Yeah.
So I suppose that there is that, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah. I think he just fits that idea of the setting of Ulfenkarn, doesn't he?
Yeah, it really does.
The model is exactly how I pictured it when I read the book, which often doesn't happen for me, across all the Black Library stuff. Whether I've seen a model before I've read the book, or then read the book, and then seeing the model, sometimes I can't link the two together, and I keep my idea when I'm looking at the model, or I read it with my idea, and it's not how the model looks. Did that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does.
So, whereas here, that's what I pictured when I'm reading the Cursed City novel. That's what I was trying to get at. So,
Yeah. I think this may be a bit of a hot take, but
we haven't got to the hot take.
I know.
Give us a cheeky hot take.
I was going to slip this one in.
Excuse me, sorry.
Sometimes a mark of a good model can be one that is so good that it's hard to paint bad, and I think this fits into that category. It doesn't matter how you paint this; it looks good because the model is so good.
I feel like you could get away with just giving that a really quick dry brush, picking out some of the skeletal details, painting the cloak with a couple of highlights. Relatively easy paint job, but yeah, I really do think it would speak for itself.
Yeah. It's hard not to have it look good. And I think it is one of those models where that you get out what you put in. You can, like say, you could do it nice and quick, and it looks great. Or you could spend weeks painting it, and it looks amazing.
I probably will do.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's. I mean, I want to do the Cursed City models justice. I want to. That's, to me, that's almost a passion project at the moment. It isn't something that we're in a rush to play, because even if we do rush to play, you've got it all painted and built anyway, haven't you? This, I bought this because I wanted the models and I wanted to spend the time and, do my own version of these. So, yeah, this is almost like a bit of a passion project for me, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Get on it, man. Get on it.
Well, I will when we'll talk about this, and I'll be a big section.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
I'm working on. So, but yeah, what was that? My number 3?
Yeah, number 3. Should we jump over to my number 3?
Over to your number 3.
I think this will be a surprising one for you, to be honest.
Yeah. Bear with me. Oh, okay. That is a big surprise. So I'm looking at the Pontifex Zenestra, Matriarch of the Great Wheel.
Yeah, Age of Sigmar model.
Yeah, okay. Talk to me.
I really like this. This, again, it comes down to this narrative element, doesn't it? And I think, much like my first choice, the gluttonous dude and from the Slaneshi horde of excess.
Similar, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a similar vibe to that, but it's a totally different tone. And I think this is one of those things where there's things about it that I really don't like.
Mm.
And then I think that is offset by the things that I do like, and just the overall composition, the story, everything that's in here. You've got so many different ways that you could approach this as a project, yeah, it's still, I can see it inside an army, and you could, much like Helgrim, like we've talked about, you could paint it nice and straightforward, super fast, get on the tabletop, and it'll be fine, compared to spending months on it
Mm.
and it looking like something really, really special.
Okay. Well, I want you to sell this to me because I don't like it. So tell me what you like about it.
So the thing that really sold this to me, and I looked at this for a long time because I don't actually like Zenestra. I think that part of the sculpt is the weakest part. I think her face just doesn't work. It seemed out of proportion to the rest of it.
Yeah, okay.
And I did look at it from a couple of different angles because this photography does not do it justice.
No, I think that's probably a fair point.
There's a couple of things that I really liked now, and it comes down to these two gentlemen that are carrying her around.
One of them looks like Morpheus. Do you think?
Wait,
The one with the cap on. The face looks like Morpheus from The Matrix. Sorry, that's not what we're here to talk about.
where are you looking?
That one.
Oh, that's one of the alternate ones.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay. I was looking on the main picture. I was like, what are you on about?
We'll cut that out.
No, we're leaving that in. The dude at the front with the hood on, I think this it just looks amazing. Kind of, he's got Dark Angel vibes, but
Oh, okay.
real world. But the thing that really sold me, which made me think this is next level, and there's so much detail in here that made me look closer at the model in general, was the chap at the back on the main picture's face. It's quite a rotund gent, and there's just so much character in his face. He's got like this boil on his cheek. He's got bags under his eyes. He's got a double chin. The hairstyle's one that we don't normally see. The ears being painted. I mean, this is like a level of detail I'm not used to seeing in Games Workshop sculpts at all. This is almost like a completely different style to me. And then when you look at all of the embellishments on the throne thing that she's riding on, this does have an palanquin. Is it a palanquin?
I think
They call it palanquin. Yeah. There's so many details here that make me think Middle Ages, like actual real world Middle Ages. I couldn't get away from it. I found myself looking at it in a different way to how I've looked at any of the other models. And I had this originally much further down my list.
Yeah.
And then I was like just gonna have it as an honorable mention. And then I put it back in my list, and it's kind of moved around. And the more I look at it, this is gonna sound really odd. I don't like it,
Right.
but I want to look at it.
Okay.
And
So it's piqued your interest somehow.
yeah, I don't. It's
Do you see some potential there for a conversion, or do you think you could paint it in a different style to make it stand out a little bit more, or to make it shine a bit?
I think this is one of those models that I don't feel I could paint.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I could do this. I think there's a lot of it there that I think you could, not that I could do, but that could be done to it. I look at it and I find it intimidating because I don't think that I could pick out all of the details I'm seeing in a way that would give enough subtlety to each of those details to exist in the world that this sculpt exists in its own little environment that it's in now. It's almost like it's a parody of the real world in this fantasy world where everything's exaggerated, where this is just a level of just normalization that shouldn't exist. It feels like it's not over the top enough to exist in Warhammer. Yeah, it feels so grounded that it almost like it brings a normality to this unit, and I think that's what I don't like about Cities of Sigmar, because it is just like real world people, and I know that's what you like about it, and that's fine. For me, that doesn't work, but for this, I find it captivating. I want to look at it. In terms of conversion, yeah, I think I could definitely use this for something Dark Angel based.
Oh, yeah.
Almost certainly, I would want to have, like, I don't know, Asmodai being carried by some servitors or something. I don't know what it would be, but it'd be like almost like him parading through the Dark Angels with one of the Fallen or whatever it is now in the narrative, since we don't have Fallen. But so like, repent, no, then die, sort of thing. But I think that would take it too far into the fantasy, and that would lose some of what it is that I like about this. It's almost like I enjoy going to cathedrals and stuff with the missus, and we like to look around and enjoy the architecture and talk about the different styles of sculpture in there and the different types of carving. It's that I'm looking at and I'm getting all of these things for it where there's so much richness and diversity in there. The only thing that seems out of place is this little gargoyle dude that's tethered to the side of it.
Yeah.
And it's that I'm enjoying talking about it. I don't know why, because I don't really like it.
It's interesting because I know exactly what you mean. I don't like it, but I'm using this little spinny tool on the picture as we're talking on the website, and I can't not look at it.
It's great, isn't it?
I don't think it's ugly.
No,
I wouldn't say it's particularly pretty, but it's very interesting. Yeah,
that's it, isn't it?
It's. Do you know what? It might be one of the models that if you saw it in the flesh, you'd change your mind. Either one way or the other. I'm not sure. I don't think that paint job does it any favors, which is a running theme that we've said. But having said what you've said, I kind of get why it's there. But to me, it looks a little off scale, and I can't tell you why. Something about it doesn't seem like it's scaled right. It doesn't look like there's just a few little things, like the dudes that are carrying it don't seem like they're straining or struggling, and it's little things like that doesn't sit right with me.
No, I can kind of see that. And I wanted to kind of swap it out for the Triumph of St. Celestine if I could, but it's like, it's 40k, I can't possibly do that. But I don't know if there was some of that going on. I don't.
Yeah, it's got that vibe, hasn't it? It's got that religious undertone, hasn't it?
It does, and that is something that I personally find interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that exploration of the religiousness in the fantasy. Not that I'm religious in my own personal beliefs, so I'm not offended by any of that stuff, but I don't know. I like the direction. I think it's much like with art. There's some artwork that I like that I don't actually like. Same with films.
It's like something you can appreciate the art form without
Yes.
liking the art.
Yes.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, and I think this is one of those cases for me. And I think it had to go where it's landed for me, because I spent so long considering it, so long looking at it. I'm like, Christ, do I like this? Do I not like it? I don't know, but it's there. It's in my head, and it's one that I kept coming back to. I'm like,
yeah,
right, fine.
Well, it's certainly made a talking point. I know. Yeah. Oh, that's a really interesting take, actually. I think I'm gonna have to spend a bit more time looking at that. And maybe come up with some sort of conversion ideas that I might do. There's definitely something in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. That's really interesting, actually. And that was your number 3, which was
It was my number 3.
Okay. Right. Well, we're getting to the sharp end now, aren't we?
Yeah. Should we check out your number 2?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, let me see if I can click on the tiny link that you put in. Oh wow, okay. So they've got the Briar Queen.
Yeah. So realistically, it is just the Briar Queen, not the entire unit, because I think they're fairly unremarkable apart from the Briar Queen. But yeah, we have got the Briar Queen from Thorns of the Briar Queen in the Nighthawk range. But yeah, I mean, as a Nighthawk player and collector, I love this model. I really enjoyed painting it. It is dead simple. Well, I didn't even think that through. Excuse me. But I think what this sculpt achieves for me, it gave me a really powerful idea of, emotion. Like, there's a lot of misery, there's a lot of despair in that sculpt, and it's really fitting with the Nighthawk range. It kind of ties in with Lady Olinda in that sense to me. The vines and the flower motif combined with this element of decay from her tattered dress and, skeletal look. There's the veil, there's all this stuff, and it really emphasizes this ghost queen aesthetic. It's just really spooky and it's really cool. It's not a big model. It's not over the top. It just stands out on the tabletop for me. It didn't play very well cinematically, but that's not what we're talking about. But the stats and the rolls are a bit squishy, but I still want to keep it in my army just because I really like that sculpt, and I had a really, really good time painting it. Like I really enjoyed doing that, and it's one of them models that I look at the paint job on it, and it's one of them sculpts that lends itself well to being able to take a simple paint job and make you look better. Like,
Got you.
you know what I mean? Like
Okay,
what
yeah.
you said before, like the Watch Captain Helgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I really like the female characters in Nighthaunt. I think there's just I don't know what it is. There's something about it that make them really stand out, and it really fits that Ghost Queen spooky, evil nature of them. Like I really like it. Yeah, it's just a really cool model. It was a really fun paint. Yeah, it's just I don't think I'm doing it justice, but I really, really love it. That's why it's a number 2 in my list.
And that's absolutely the best reason to have something up there, man. I'm surprised.
Yep.
I'm not surprised it's in your list. I'm surprised it's this high.
Yeah, I think the picture that I've put in, because obviously there's no link on the Games Workshop
Yeah.
website. Listening about that picture and paint job isn't doing it any favors
no.
that I've linked.
No.
But it's just a super simple sculpt. There's not a lot to that model, but I think
Yeah.
what they've done it really well. I think it's one of them ones it tells a different picture, whichever angle you look at it. If you're looking at it face on from the vines, you get a very different vibe when you're looking at it side on, like this picture suggests.
Mhm.
You get more from the facial element of her when you look
Yeah.
at it from the other angle, and it looks more aggressive when the vines are almost coming at you rather than this. But
I don't think I can add much to this, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
I like it. I don't think it's as great as what you think it is, personally. I don't know. I can appreciate everything you're saying about it. You're right. It is a really good sculpt. It's very simplistic as well. And I think this is
I think it stands out for me in another way as well, because if you think about the Thorns of the Briar Queen unit, it's basically her and some chain rasps, glorified chain rasps.
yeah, absolutely.
And she's only slightly bigger than them, but there's just a lot, there's more going on, even though she's
Yeah.
a fairly simple model. It's very different to a lot of the other ones in that range. And I think the way I've painted them, because she's got this veil, the way I've made it so her features catch the light are very different to the way that I've done the chain rasp. So she stands out in my army.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why
It does.
maybe that's why I like it so much, because it's a bit of a change from the chaff units in my army.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. I see that.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them sculpts that grabbed me. And I can't really add much more to it. I just think it's really cool. I know that's a really pithy comment to say it's cool, but why it's my number 2 model. But again, like I said about the Spirit Host, it is just Nighthaunt. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's it's stuff like that I envisage. That's what I would find scary in real life. That kind of thing.
And that's fair.
Yeah, that's all.
Totally fair.
I think that's why I like it so much.
I think it really is a cool model. I think it's the base. I think she deserves a better base. I mean, I realize it came as part of a Underworld's war band in it, so they were all on pretty standardized bases. I think if you took it and you put it on a base that made it a little bit more special.
What I will say is the way that I've done the base. So the base is the molded base, similar, same to the picture you're seeing. But the way I've painted mine, the purple is a brighter shade of purple, and it stands out more.
Yeah.
And there are a lot more purple flowers on the base than that picture suggests.
Sure.
And that comes through more in my paint job than this, I think, which makes it stand out a little bit more because it's a splash of color that all the models around it don't have.
True.
So
yeah, that is a valid point then. And think having those more normalized models around it, again, as you say, makes it pop off.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice. A very standard one for such a high position in the list. So fair dues.
What about you? What's your number 2?
Do you want to pop it and have a look? Feels to be a bit of a theme on this.
Okay, yeah. So we've got the Abhorrent Gore Warden at your number 2.
No, we don't.
No, we're not.
We definitely don't have the Abhorrent Gore Warden. You've gone to my
Oh yeah,
my honorable mention.
Sorry. All right, we'll cut that out.
No, we won't.
Okay, your number 2. Oh, okay. Saviors of Cinderfall.
Yeah.
That's a cool inclusion.
So again, like yourself, I have another Inquisition kind of guy, one of the Order of Vizier.
Yeah, to say that we're not Cities of Sigmar players, we do like a lot of their range, apparently.
That's the thing, and I think with the books, like I said, the Cursed City book introduced me to those characters, and I, like yourself, genuinely enjoyed the book. It's one of my favourite Warhammer
Same.
books, regardless of 40k or AOS, whatever. I love that book.
Yeah.
And reading some more of the Canis and Toll books, I really kind of found an affinity with the characters.
Yep.
Specifically Canis and Toll. Tanis and Col. What the hell?
Palace and Toll.
Them. There we go.
Yeah, I haven't read them yet, actually. There's one that I'm going to get around to. I'm looking forward to reading them. They've come highly recommended, not only by you, so.
They're really interesting. And this group I found interesting from the point that it's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It scratches, it lets you scratch a niche from a creative perspective. It's got everything that I could want. It's got like what is it? Why can I not remember that? It's getting late. I've not had enough caffeine.
Getting late. It's 8:20.
This is late for me, mate. But the characters look exactly, Callus and Toll look exactly as I kind of picture them.
I mean, is it Callus, the one with the hat? That's very reminiscent of Jealous and Darek, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they're both by Order of Vizier.
Yeah.
So they're both basically vampire hunters.
Yeah.
Witch hunters, whatever. Well, witch hunters, I think they are.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would have liked to seen is a little Stein on the base of Toll. He's into his ale.
He's a boozer, is he?
He's into his ale, a bit of a hardcore mofo. And then we've got this like this lady with the metal hand and the metal side of the face with the mental cat, like crazy cat lady.
I've never noticed the metal side of her face. Actually.
Yeah, she's got like the cat around her neck. She's got the cat on her base. She's got the cat on her belt buckle. She's got cats everywhere. She's a crazy cat lady.
I mean, you are a fan of cats as well.
I am a huge fan of the feline species. She really struck me as a rogue trader. She just looks like, I mean, in the paint scheme that G-Dubs have done was rogue trader.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, very much.
We've got the elven woman that I can't remember her name of.
She the one with the grappling hook?
Yeah. Very, very cool pose. Again, very understated. Just like it looks interesting. And an actual interesting looking Stormcast dude.
You see, I think that's what lets this box down, personally. Just that Stormcast dude. Then again, I don't know anything about him in the lore, but I don't think that key across his back works for me.
I like that.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about this guy. So.
I don't know anything about it, but
all right.
In my head, he would work as I don't know why I've got this, but this is a little bit of a tangent, but it's kind of what I like as well. I'm going to probably take the detail off the shield because I have this box. I'm not painted it yet.
Right.
Take the detail off the shield and make it so it fits in with my other Stormcast. Obviously, give him a helmet because they all need helmets. They can never have bare heads with no mouth. Fit him with the rest of my Stormcast. But I'm going to paint him different to the rest of my Stormcast. I'm going to paint him in gold armor.
Okay.
Because this was the dude that opened the Stormbolt or the Clusian.
It's the key.
Hence the key.
Okay.
That's going to be my headcanon.
I'm quite surprised you didn't want to keep him as an also bearded bald man. There was some resemblance of him to you.
I would
loosely.
You mean I don't have such chiseled abs and sculpted pectorals as this gentleman? Give me some Anavar and Tren and I will be back in shape before you can...
I mean, grow your beard a bit and that'd be pretty bang on, to be honest.
I mean, I'm getting that grey.
Not a million miles away.
The only thing that I don't like about this is the Gryph-hound, but I'm not a doggo person.
You see, I am, and I do like the Gryph-hound.
I'm just not interested in the pet side of things. That Games Workshop seems to be increasingly obsessed with putting pets in everything. The cats are doggos. I'm just like
I really like the Kindle Droth and the
I'm not there.
Fire Slayers Warcry band. I like that.
Yeah, I'm not there for it. But everything else about this, I mean, it literally, I can't really elaborate on it further than what we've already said about the multitude of models we've already covered. This is a great set. I love it. And for all of the reasons we've already kind of talked about, we won't go into massive detail. It's a wonderful selection.
It is.
It's as a painter as well as a gamer, I think this is a really great, interesting set to have and to paint. And the fact that you can use it in Curse City
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
great. The fact that you can use it in Warcry is
Yeah.
great. And the fact that you can use them, I think you can use them with Legends rules in your Cities of Sigmar army.
Believe so. Yeah.
And it might even be a Regiment of Renown, I believe. It might be a Regiment of Renown for Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of time for it. I can't really say anything else than you have. It reminds me almost, when you look at it, of a visual representation of like a D&D party. You know, you've got a little bit of everything.
Exactly.
It's cool to have that variety. So yeah, I think, yeah, you get to flex your creative muscles a bit with a few different painting techniques and colors, and yeah, it's cool. I like it. I can see why you've gone for that.
I'm definitely going to paint the Griffhound so it looks like Moose.
Yeah, Moose is my dog, by the way. But
The show dog. I've adopted him. It's the show dog now.
the show dog.
Yo, show dog!
No, I think that's a really cool number 2, actually. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
It is. Number 1 then.
Number 1. Have you got any idea what my number 1 pick is going to be?
Well, considering it's not appeared, yeah, I'm pretty certain now. I know.
How's it, I guess, before you're going to be?
It's Gortrek, isn't it?
Why do you think that?
Because you're obsessed with Gortrek, Ron. He's your favourite character. You love Gortrek.
So my number 1 is Gotrek.
Is it?
Yeah. So,
Yes!
my old mate, Gotrek. Everybody knows him.
Oh, so it is as well.
Yeah. Legendary Dwarf Slayer from the Warhammer Old World, now represented in Age of Sigmar, and it is my favourite sculpt in the entire range. I'm going to preface this, to me, Gotrek is Warhammer. He was the first hero I gravitated towards as a kid, getting into the hobby, reading the old Gotrek and Felix novels, even with that old derpy metal sculpt. He signifies why I started with the hobby and what I loved from it then, and why I'm here 25 years later and why I picked it back up. I get that the sculpt to most isn't probably the most exciting, but to me, it just encapsulates his character perfectly. It's fairly unremarkable, but you see his fiery beard, his muscular build, his hair defies gravity, his axe is just iconic, and it's exactly how it's supposed to look. He's clutching the rune in the raised fist. It's exactly as I envisaged him all those years ago when he had a rubbish sculpt, and it's so nice to see it sort of come to life now. I think the pose of the sculpt is dynamic enough to suggest a bit of movement, but it's stoic enough to signify his might and his aggression. He's got his missing eye that he's supposed to have. He's got his ramshackle armor on his shoulder. It just cements everything he's supposed to be. And he just looks cool. He looks badass. I mean, you get the choice of a display base or the standard base. I think I'm going to say something quite poetic here, but for a little guy, I think this sculpt makes him stand tall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love it. He's my favorite character, and it is my favorite sculpt. I've built him, as you know, I haven't put him on that sort of scenic pace because I'm going to be playing with him down the line. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. He is my favorite sculpt. He is my favorite character. That's the long and short of it.
Most of the short of it. Nah, man. I think you've gone with what you needed to do. It is.
I'm nothing if I'm not predictable, right?
Right. I don't hate it by any means. There's a couple of things that I don't like about it. I hadn't actually noticed the one eye thing until you just said it, and then I've zoomed in.
Yeah, I suppose you can't really tell on that.
Yeah,
photo, but
I can't argue against any of the things that you've said, because obviously it means a lot to you, and it's a completely personal choice there.
Yeah,
I think it is a good sculpt.
Yeah.
I think overall, I'm not into the base thing, 'cause I think it's the Skaven on it just looks super derpy.
Yeah, well, it doesn't have Skaven on my thing.
No. So. But I mean, looking at objectively from the photographs on the website, that's kind of one of the things that I don't like about it. The other thing that I don't like, I can't remember if we ever talked about this, is my annoyance at his armor. The on his arm.
Yeah.
If you check the picture out of the 4 pictures. Yeah. So the first one.
Yeah.
So as you rightly identified, it conveys motion.
Yeah.
his beard is sweeping upwards.
Yeah.
So he's throwing his arm forward, he's thrusting his arm up into the head. The chain on his wrist is going forwards because he's thrusting his hand up, so momentum would carry it forward.
Yeah.
Why is the chain on his shoulder pointing downwards? Because his shoulder would be in motion as well. At very most, it'd be pointing forwards. Going forwards.
Never noticed that.
I'm like, it's things like that that take away the illusion of motion from me.
Okay.
So I'm sort of like, huh. And that's one of those things that irks me. But that is my only criticism of the sculpt. I think other than that, you're right. This conveys that character so well. Everything that I know about the character, anyway. The only other thing that I would have liked to have seen, and I would like to see it as an option that you can include, some flames coming out of his axe. You know, from the weapon. That's the only other thing that I would add on there.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
with you.
as a painting project, I'd like to paint this. I would definitely do it on a darker base and have like the base lit from the flames of the axe.
Yeah.
And I would almost go so far, as to have that pretty much as the primary source of light.
Yeah.
And perhaps make the rune Gold glowing.
Yeah.
And his runes glowing, and that lighting him up. I think that would make it look really dramatic, really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a top quality sculpt, and I'm there for it. Considering it's an older sculpt, I do think it's a worthy number one for you. And I think it was the only one that was ever going to be number one. I would be massively surprised if it wasn't number one.
Yeah.
To be honest. So
I think, I can't understate. Do you know what? If it's going to sound pretentious either way, I can't state any clearer what he as a character means to me in my entire hobby journey over the last 25 years. He's what got me into Warhammer in the first place, and it's almost kind of what pulled me back. Seeing the new sculpt, knowing that there's some new novels about him, it kind of reignited that want to create. And have that artistic freedom of doing this again, just to come out of the norm. So yeah, he was always going to be my number one. I think it's going to take something really momentous to top that for me. So.
You never know, I might get a new sculptor.
Well, if they do, I hope they had Felix as well. But that's
I'm sure I'll be back.
Yeah, in what form?
Who knows? Stormcast.
You reckon?
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, if they do, I'd be happy about that.
Oh, and I can tell.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I've been as succinct as I possibly can without going into too much depth with that.
No, I think you've said all that needs to be said about this guy, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We got any ideas on what might be my number one, considering we've had Kado?
Honestly, no.
Right.
I really don't. Yeah, I've been thinking since we had this idea of doing this top 10 what you might pick, and I really don't know.
It's I'm going to say probably almost certainly still my favorite AOS model.
Okay.
And I still think this is one of the best AOS sculpts. When it was coming out, I was super excited. I was like, I need this in my life. It is everything.
All right, I'm clicking. What we got? Okay. We've got the Harbinger of Decay.
Yeah.
Okay, now I've seen it. I'm not surprised, actually. Yeah, almost made it into my top 10.
Really?
But yeah, it's just one of them sculpts that
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me
about it. Why is it in number one?
It's disgustingly beautiful. This was one of those things that when it came out, so it came out as part of the end narrative for 3rd edition as part of the, what was it called? Dawnbringers?
Yeah.
I think this was the first model that came out in that series of 5 books.
How long ago we're talking?
End of 3rd edition, isn't it? So it'd been the last year of 3rd edition, so 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And I think this was the last model, or one of the last models. No, it was one of the last models. I painted this and Articulous Slimux at the same time. And I did scenic bases for them both. But when I saw this model, when I saw it, I was moved. This is one of those models that made me think they've really pushed themselves. This has taken Warhammer to the next level. There's so much about this that is so much better in scale, in size, in tone, even in the heavy metal paint style that elevates it above anything else at the time that Games Workshop was showing.
Yeah.
There was very few things that compared to this and made me think I need to push myself as a painter to be able to do this justice, because I don't want it to be another Jesus model like the Great Unclean one
Yeah.
and like Be'lakor, where I'm scared to paint it. Like we've already touched on, there's been a couple of models that I've scared to paint.
Yeah.
Even though I have this army, I had to push myself to paint it because I wanted it so badly, but I wanted what was in my head out on paper.
Yeah.
Out
I know where you're going.
into the model. And I think part of what I liked so much about this was whoever designed it had clear inspiration from Death Dealer. If you look at a couple of the covers to Death Dealer, there's one that is exactly like this. This is very similar to the Marshall model we looked at earlier. When I said I think this is very similar to some of the Games Workshop sculpts, that's one of them that I was particularly referencing was this. I think this does that better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it does.
I think it does it in. I mean, looking at them now, I haven't looked at them side by side. I'm literally looking at them side by side. I can see where it's not quite as clear cut as I was making out earlier. And I do see the difference in tone and style.
Yeah.
I can even see a progression in model fidelity in the details.
Yep.
For me, this was everything that the Magic Kin of Nurgle represented, and that story element, it doesn't have the derpiness of some of the other sculpts. So in my Magic Kin army, I've tried to stay away from any of the derpiness, or tried to make it, as we've talked about before, if you listen to any of his previous podcasts, I like that darker, grimmer style, that more serious tone, less of the humor.
And this definitely does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what drove my army down that way. The only thing that I found with this was I didn't like the base as much. It didn't have the stature as a centerpiece that I wanted mine to have.
Okay.
So I elevated it up a little bit and I put a river underneath it. So it's like he's stood on like a rock above the river.
Okay.
And the filth's kind of like dripping down into the river, and it goes from clear to corrupted.
Oh, that's
so
interesting.
it's almost like a progression on the base as well.
Yeah.
And I've painted the horse in that manner as well, so you can see how they've kind of done it from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Whereas I've done it from forward to back, where it looks like there's more decay at the front of the horse than towards the rear. So it's more like a 3/4 down. So there were all these tiny little details that I wanted to feed in. The way that the crow on the back, I painted it so it was eating the flesh. So it's pulling a bit of the flesh up, much like some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So I slightly converted that. So it looks like as the crow was eating the corrupted flesh, the crow was starting to become corrupted.
I get you.
And I converted because at the time in 3rd edition, he had different rule sets for his weapon. So he had a bell or the sickle.
Yeah.
I converted it so that the sickle looked like a double-ended scythe with the bell on one side of it, so I could take whichever load out that
You have
one.
to send me some pictures of this. I don't think you've ever shown me this.
Yeah, this is one of I've entered in a couple of painting competitions. This is one that I really
And
spent
you better
time.
hold it out on me.
I don't tend to show anybody the stuff I'm really proud of, because I don't want anybody to.
Yeah. Mate,
It's for me, but
don't feel like you have to if you don't.
no, I mean, there's pictures all over my Instagram anyway of it, but it's one of those that looks better in person.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that I'm genuinely.
So I'll wait till on those round deals and I'll look at it in person then.
So yeah, this just it made me invested in Warhammer even more, and in that army. And it's probably why I'll never get rid of that army, because there's so many Jesus models in there, for me at least. Even the funnier models that I didn't think I would enjoy, like Articular Slimux.
Yeah.
Stupid name. On the nose, like all of Games Workshop stuff is.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed painting them and doing something, but this took it to the next level. This brought the seriousness.
Yeah.
And that level of.
It's the serious side of Nurgle, isn't it?
Yeah, the grown-up element. And I think what they did with the narrative as well appealed to me, and that kind of fed into the character. It just goes to show how the story can bring some of that character to life. So even though I saw the model in it before I'd read the book,
Yeah.
so I got the book and the model, and then read kind of the lore as I was painting the model. How in my head I was marrying this guy up as Pestilence as one of the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
I think it was a bit on the nose because he's on the horse and he's looks kind of that way and he's bringing the decay. But that's what fed into my idea for the base to do the corruption of the river.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
And the corruption of the crow being that.
Yeah.
It just worked. There was so much story that it told me from just looking at it that I've not had from any other model, even though I don't particularly like Nurgle.
Yeah. No, it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Yeah. I agree. It's a gorgeous sculpt. I mean, it is one of the best. Yeah. It only just didn't crack the top 10 because I didn't think I could do an explanation like you did. I don't think I could have given it any justice like you've done, to be honest. But yeah, I'll give that an honorary mention for me. Isn't one of my honorary mentions, but yeah, I think you've explained that really well. I can't really add to it.
So yeah, that's the top 10.
That's the top 10.
That's the top 10 for both of us. That's gone on a wad of time. That's over 2 hours we've talked about these.
Is it really?
So shall we do an honorable mention each? I've got 3.
I've only got 1. Yeah. So yeah. Do you want me to go and click on my honorable mention?
I'm going to click on it.
You might be able to guess. I don't think you'll be surprised when you see.
I can click on that one because it's a normal size link roll.
I don't think you'll be surprised when you see this one.
Ah, Redekar.
Yeah, Redekar the wolf, not Redekar the beast.
The beast. Yeah, this is a wonderful sculpt.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lot of people's favorite. Couldn't quite crack the top 10. Again, it's the 3rd Curse City sculpt that I have. I mean, this is an honorable mention. I just really like this. Yeah, I don't really have an awful lot to say. I just think it's got a lot going for it. I understand it's probably technically not the greatest sculpt in the world, but it goes along with why I love Curse City so much. Curse City, the novel, the setting. I have a real clear picture of him in my head when reading it, and it is exactly what that sculpt shows. I really love, the element of the wolf pelt or the wolf carcass. It's exactly how I pictured him. That's all. Really, really looking forward to painting him as well. It's another model that's got a lot of different textures. This one doesn't have an awful lot of movement in it. It just looks mean, and he's a big model as well. And I hope I can do it justice when I get around to painting him.
I found him really hard to paint.
Well, that doesn't bode well for me.
I've tried twice. I think I had to strip him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy with what I ended up with, but do you know we were talking earlier and we were talking about like how some of the poses, like how you actually build them, doesn't lend towards having sub-assemblies. His face, I could not, I messed it up so many times. It's like I had to remove like layers of paint. So I was with like a cotton bud, like wiping layers off with paint thinner. It's so difficult to do, but I'm obsessed with hiding all the seam lines. It's push fit. His hat goes in 2 places, and it was just like it's a noticeable, visible seam.
Yeah.
So I ended up having to I took it all apart, unglued it as best as I could.
Yeah.
Cut the tab at the peg.
Yeah. Cut the peg off,
and then had to do it that way to paint his face separate, and it was like. It was a nightmare. I should have just done that in the first instance. I think if I did it again, that would be a little bit more. It'd be easier to do, but I found it very, very difficult. And like he's got some. I think you can see it in one of the pictures. Some like a metal wolf on his cuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to get that in.
Yeah.
It was just I didn't just want to do it metallic. I wanted to have it so it looked nice, metallic. So it involves a fair bit of shading and going backwards and forwards. It's such a tiny detail nobody would notice, but I noticed.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah. I would have definitely paid more attention to his sword as well, knowing now that there's a story behind why the sword is corroded. I would have perhaps picked that out a little bit, a bit more. But yeah, and I did because I painted him and Beast at the same time. That was
okay,
so that I got the skin tones the same, and then I have it stretched out so that and I wanted to get the wolf pelts so that all of the mantails matched.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a great sculpt. I like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with you choosing the Curse City stuff. It's wonderful. It's an interesting one. There's the one thing that I don't like about it, is like how obscured his left arm is under the wolf pelt.
Yeah, you only see the fist, don't you?
Yeah, I think that is really weird because it almost takes away the size, because it's supposed to be a giant wolf, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It takes away from some of his stature because, like, say, it's a big model.
Yeah.
And
He's a chunky lad.
you see it on like the roundness of the top of his pecs. I mean, the guy is built,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but
He's a
you
slab.
kind of you don't see it because of that.
Mm.
But I like it. I'm there for it. Yeah,
I'm just going to remind you guys that this was my honourable mention, not Wayne's.
oh, sorry, dude.
No, you're fine, mate.
Sorry.
To be fair, I think you've said a lot of things that I couldn't really put into words, but yeah, it's an interesting model because it doesn't follow a lot of the same things you see in like a city box. A lot of them characters are quite lithe and
Yeah.
is lithe the right word? Quite sort of thin,
Yeah.
and when he's not, he's just a slab. Like, and I think that's what makes him stand out for me. When you see him, up against the rest of them, he really does stand out. So
Even as a wolf, is still a beast.
yes, but yeah, that's my honorable mention.
It's a good one. It's a definite good one.
Well, I already kind of spoiled one of yours, didn't I? Earlier,
You did.
So
Shall we just go to my second honourable mention, which is the
yes.
Abhorrent Gore Warden.
Yeah, the one that I dropped in by mistake earlier.
And it's I love this sculpt. It's vicious. I mean, the face of it is feral vampire to me. This is everything that is not. I mean, this is a good example of Games Workshop doing horror right.
Yeah.
I just think it's great. It's got everything that I want. The face is perfect. It's non-derpy. It's just pure Nosferatu.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what.
I never thought of that until you said it, but it is.
And it annoys me that this isn't part of the Soul Blight, and instead it's part of Flesh Eat Corpse. And we all know how I feel about that now.
If you don't listen to the episode before this, one thing I don't like about this is the
bones around the neck.
I don't like that. But
I'm not there for that either.
the rest of it, I completely agree.
I really like the base. I didn't notice until
I like the base,
the other day as well when a friend mentioned this to me, that the actual base with the dude strapped to it is part of a statue of a Stormcast.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Which part of the Stormcast?
it's his upper torso and leg.
Oh, okay. I've never noticed that.
Yeah, me neither.
That's cool.
I didn't notice. He was like, "What do you notice about the base?" I'm like, "I don't know. I thought I saw a face hugger in there, a little Easter egg." And I was like, "I don't know, man. Just tell me."
That's really cool. Yeah, I never noticed that.
Where's the face hugger that I thought I saw? There was definitely.
Like, saw a face.
Yeah, I thought I saw some there's little Easter eggs here and there and some of the G-dub stuff. I thought it was a face hugger on the. I don't know where I saw it, but it's not. Yeah, it's a Stormcast. So yep, he was in my list for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I genuinely like this, but the thing that I really like about it is the face.
Yeah,
And
I get that.
yeah, I think this is an absolute class sculpt.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. Yeah.
In no discernible order, so my other honourable mention would be number 1, which is. This was in my list as well, and for a long time, this is my favourite Warhammer model, but it's not aged well. I want to see a resculpt of it, and I know we are never going to. The Infernal Enraptress.
Yeah, I like the harp.
I love the harp.
The harp is the cool bit for me. I don't like the rest of it personally.
Yeah, I don't like it anymore. I think if she didn't have the Slaneshi claw, and she had a normal arm, or whatever it is, I'd be there for it. I really wanted this, but it's like the guy as the ARP guy.
I think the idea is better than the execution on this, but the harp.
I think for him,
class.
it's her. I think the face is very good.
Oh dear, I don't personally. Not for me anyway.
I think it's the paint job.
Yeah, maybe so.
I really, there's so many things on this at Games Workshop I just not going to do ever again.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this in my local Games Workshop store and being like, wow, that is dark. And this was one of the first things that made me even like pay attention to AOS, just to even look at the ranges, because up until then I was like, I don't care about fantasy. I'm not interested. But this is like, even how it's painted, not her, him
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
But the fact he's got like the nipple rings with like they wouldn't do any of this stuff anymore.
I didn't notice the nipple rings.
It's too far for them. It's too overtly sexualized and brutal and horrific. This is Hellraiser level stuff.
Yeah.
I would like this model just for him, and then I would use the unmade warband to have. I don't know what I'd do, but those two together
Yeah.
would work. But I couldn't put it in my actual list because she just doesn't stand up to the quality.
Oh, I get that.
So my final honourable mention then is going to be. Have you got it open?
No. So what?
I want to say I don't know what I put in. I put the Abhorrent Gore one in twice, I think.
Oh, you're keeping me hanging. Yeah.
I put the Abhorrent Gore one in twice. I've only got 2 honourable mentions.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Well, so we're done.
Yes, that's our top 10 and a little bit more.
Top 13 for me. Well, top 12. Top 12. So they had 2 twice. Apparently, I like it that much. That should have been in my top 10.
Yeah. Well, I think we've been going for a fair while, but
It has. Let us know either in the Discord or in the comments what your top 10 AOS models are. I'd be intrigued to know what have we missed out. I think we went through every model. I definitely went through every model that's on the Games Workshop website.
Yeah, let us know if we've missed any, if you think there's any glaring omissions that we made, or if we put anything in that you think does not deserve to be anywhere near the top 10.
Yeah, definitely do that. And let us know if Games Workshop have got rid of anything that shouldn't have been got rid of because it's that good and they've just retired it because they needed to rotate the range or whatever. Yeah, let us know. Let's have a conversation. Join us on the Discord. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Succulent vitality!
We broke for food. We ate the food. We were in pain. This was a hot one, well, wasn't it? This was like legitimately, guys.
Mate.
This was, oh man.
It's evil.
This was, we had Dr. Psycho Juice this time, the Extreme Ghost, XXXXX hot. Confirmed, this is hot. Will ended up with an ice cube in his mouth at one point.
It's evil. My stomach hurts. It was not pleasant. It tasted like diesel. There was no redeeming qualities to that sauce. It coated my mouth in a way I didn't like because it made parts of my mouth that shouldn't have been hot.
We were salivating at one point. There was just like so much moisture in the mouth. It wasn't good, guys.
It's unpleasant. Sometimes with a hot sauce you can get it where even if it's too hot and it tastes nice, you persevere. That didn't even.
It doesn't taste nice. There was no.
It's a really cool color though. It's almost like a blood red.
Yeah, it's extract, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
it's got extract in it. So, and what you really don't want to do is try it on your finger and then wash your hands twice and then touch your eye, because not only does your mouth burn then, and you're salivating uncontrollably while your friend's like a jabbering wrecked with an ice cube in his mouth, you're also crying in pain because you're literally crying because you've got it in your eye as well. I'm speaking from experience here. This wasn't a good food intermission for us. There was no nom nom nom. There was nothing happy. Nothing good has come of this one.
No, I mean, I think I did it a little more sensibly than you because you immediately put it on the first bit of chicken that you ate, whereas I left it to my last one. So take from that what you will.
I wanted to
punish yourself.
Oh, yeah. It's like, why have I been such a bad hobbyist this week? Repent. Yeah, I did smash a bunch of it.
You had more of it than I did, and I was in pain. I still am in pain.
I feel like I can take it now, but I don't enjoy the flavor of it. That's the thing. It's the hotness I think I can take. It's not mental hot. It's stupid hot. It's not too hot to the point I'm like dying, but it doesn't have a flavor that is palatable, and that's the point.
Yeah, there was no redeeming quality. I mean, it wasn't to the point where, I mean, we both tried it twice because we tried it a little bit before we started recording, just because we're like children and you can't help ourselves. But when you have it and you put a little bit more on because you're eating our own food and you think, it's not that bad. I mean, it shows our stupidity levels, really, doesn't it? But there you go. I mean, let's move on. That hot sauce hurt. I mean, give me a hot take. Just try and let me stop thinking about it, please.
All right, fine. Right, what's up? So, Terminators, the new Assault Terminators have dropped, along with the new Marneus Calgar models.
Yep.
I'll talk about Marneus Calgar in a little while.
Okay.
I don't think I like Terminators anymore, and I have my reason being for this. And I know Terminators are quintessentially Warhammer. like one of the things that is the most Warhammer thing about Warhammer 40k
Yeah.
is Terminators. They're so iconic. It's like, but looking at them now, I don't like them. It's like, especially the top of the legs is like this weird exoskeleton part of it. I know what it's supposed to be is utility wise, but
Yeah.
it's not aged well compared to everything else. I prefer Gravis
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I mean, I'll be honest, I've never really liked Terminators that much. The Terminator sculpts that I like, what were the Heresy era ones? Cataphracti?
Cataphracti.
Really like them. And I like the Saturnine ones. Saturnine, pronounce
Yeah.
please. The standard ones I've never been a fan. It's the helmet I never liked. It's like a big dog's head, like a big staffy.
See, I would have thought you'd been into that being a
I do like dogs,
dog person.
but no, I don't want my Angels of Death to have just a staffy for a head.
Sorry, I like the song Angels of Death.
Yeah.
It's good. No, I'm there with you. And I think with this as well, I think the other thing that's irked me is, and I don't know this for a fact, so I'm just going on what I know of the law, so I'm sure somebody will correct us if this is wrong. My understanding was they couldn't make Terminator armor anymore.
Yeah,
Primaris Marines are bigger than standard Firstborn Marines, ergo they can't fit in Terminator armor. That's why they had the Gravis. That's why Cole came out with it all. How come suddenly this new Terminator armor that looks exactly the same that they didn't know how to make anymore, that they apparently don't have an STC for, now suddenly fits Primaris?
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently reading a 40k novel. Talk about when we do it as a hobby update, but a lot of them are very annoyed and very sad that they can't recover Terminator armor from a battle that they've been in, and it makes a point of saying how revered that Terminator armor is because it's irreplaceable. And now it's almost like Games Workshop just gone, oh no, we can do it now, and it takes some of that gravity and weight away from a lot of books that we've read where it played Terminator armor up to be this pinnacle and it is irreplaceable, and now that just seems to be thrown out the window.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't think this is. It's annoying with some of the things recently. So it's part of the hot takes. Is that now they've almost finished the move from Firstborn to Primaris. A lot of the stuff has been retconned or sidelined. Some of this lore that we've kind of is ingrained in us through us formative years has been almost like just shunted to the side now. It's like, well, what is canon? What isn't canon? Just give me a set of rules. And let's work within those boundaries, guys.
It's a little insulting, I'll be honest. You know, I don't want to make a massive deal out of it because that's not what we're about, but I do find it a bit insulting when we've read all this lore and we've loved these books and we really like it, and we've got this idea of Terminator armor and what it signifies in the 41st millennium, and then it goes, oh, nah, we've got this new stuff now. And it's kind of just like, well, what was the point of years and years of you telling us about it in one way to just almost throw that away? And it's a strange feeling.
Where's the Emperor's armor that they're getting the slithers from to put in the trucks? The Crux Terminatus?
Crux Terminatus?
Crux Terminatus.
That's a very good point.
Because if they can't recover the old armor,
Yeah.
or the struggle for it,
Yeah.
there's some. It irks me. I don't like the. I get it. The new sculpts are cool. Whatever. I just, for me,
Physically, yeah, they're cool, but
I'm not there for it. I'm not there for it. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
I have another hot take as well. Since we had such a hot sauce,
all right, yeah, go on.
I've been looking at Space Marines again. I look at Space Marines a lot. I love Space Marines. I love Primaris. I think it looks so much better than Firstborn.
Well, that's a hot take.
Other than the helmets, like just Mark 7. Just Mark 7 helmets are so much more aggressive. You look at a Space Marine, I'm scared, man. I'm scared of a Space Marine's helmet. I look at Primaris, I'm just like, yeah, look, that looks cool. I don't want to think it looks cool. I want to be terrified. I want to be pooping my trousers, just thinking, my days, this guy isn't just an angel of death. He is gonna reach down my throat, pull that poopy from my trousers out, and then stuff it back down my throat because he's just like a vicious Space Marine killing monster. And his big mouth grill thing looks like where you just got some nice little slots in the new
Primaris has gone to your head, hasn't it?
It's just the Mark 7 helmet is just so much better. Just give me an official upgrade pack where I can put my Mark 7s on. I don't want to 3D print my own. I can do.
Yeah.
I am doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I just give me some fish. I'm lazy. I have to mess about with the resin and stuff. I'm not even going to whinge about the price increase. That's all I want. Just the Mark 7 helmets.
I don't
That's
mind
the
any
one
helmets.
thing. It's not as iconic, dude.
It's not as iconic.
It doesn't have the same visual. There's something about it. It's like you don't have it with Stormcast or anything like that. And they're like the most Warhammer thing, be it 40k AOS, is the Mark 7 helmet. It is the most rock and roll, like mid to late 80s design. Like screw beakies. I'm not into them. They're pointless. I don't care about beakies. I don't care about the Primaris helmets. I don't care about the like completely daft looking Gravis helmets. Just Mark 7 brilliance is perfect. That's all I want. Primaris with Mark 7 helmets. That's it. That's my hot take.
All right.
I like the Mark 7. That's all I want.
Fair enough.
I'm done. What do you have any hot takes, Wolf?
I do. All right. Well, my hot take. I'll just tell you straight off.
Go on.
I think that the balanced data slate is just Games Workshop admitting that they can't write rules properly the first time round. What do you think to that?
Has something happened that I'm not aware of?
Well,
I know
just a data slate.
I know the deal with the balanced data slate.
I think every few months they release a fix, in air quotes, for these broker combos, runaway win rates, all the tournament stuff. Clearly, the units just weren't tested enough. That's what I think. I think if you're paying good money for a codex or a subscription to the app, you shouldn't be paying for broken goods, effectively. I don't see why everything has to be fixed. It should be stringently tested, I think. I mean, I just don't get it. It always happens. The cynic in me thinks that the nerfs seem to hit when the initial hype and the sales wave drops, so they can change it, push the sales again. And I don't think that's right, especially in a hobby with such a price point that this one is.
So I think we've talked about this a while back. I think for me that I would prefer them to be not just 40k something, speaking across the board here.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I said data slate because one has just recently come out. Well, actually, there was an AOS.
There was an AOS one.
Yeah.
I think when they release a new army, it's by design overpowered so that people will buy it.
Yeah.
I know they're probably saying, no, that's not the case. But from a marketing perspective, knowing that people are going to play it in a couple of tournaments and it will skew the results so like they can do exactly as you say, I do think that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think perhaps as well there's something about them not doing enough wider player testing before they release stuff, and I can see why they don't do that because of the amount of leaks that used to happen.
Yeah,
that's
a fair point. If you're playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, there definitely needs to be more wider player testing, but what I would definitely appreciate, and I don't think they'll ever do this now, this is just the nature of the game, and I think it's more perhaps with 40k than with our stuff.
Yeah.
With our stuff, I mean AOS. But it is still a thing. If people are playing tournament level, I think there should be 2 rule sets.
A tournament rule set and a casual.
It should be, and I think one of them is you either play casual like we do, and we can have a consistent rule set and we don't have to worry about it. And then you have the tournament rule set. I know that's kind of fixed via the General's Handbook or the chapter approved, whatever it is for 40k. I think introducing a wider segregation there to make that very, very clear that it doesn't matter if you're playing with broken lists. It's implied that it's a gentleman's agreement now. And that's cool, but it does feel like they're pushing units to be purchased via manipulating the rules somewhat, but I don't know if that, like you say, is just as being cynical.
Maybe that's just us being cynical in his old age, but I don't know. That's it. I was just thinking about it earlier, and it irked me because I was in a bad mood this morning. So yeah, that's been a relatively fresh hot take, actually. But
it does feel that way, dude.
It does, yeah.
It
And
does.
maybe in the light of day, I'll think differently. But yeah, there's just something about it. It just doesn't sit right with me. But I don't know.
Yeah,
my hot take for the week.
It'd be interesting to see over the next couple of years, certainly for like the next edition, at least to 40k, if they change things up enough. I don't think they will. I think it'll be an iterative edition. So we may actually get to that point where there's some sort of equilibrium.
Yeah.
But I do think, just as a final comment on this one, is that there is a perception of balance for one group of people that doesn't make sense to another group of people. People that want things to be a game and to be a balanced, competitive experience
Yeah.
need to normalize it regardless of what faction you're playing as, so that everything has some of the same utility and counter utility, so that there is an answer to everybody's attack. There's a response, there's an attack, there's a defense, there's a neutral state. Comes much like a fighting game where you're playing footsies. That doesn't need to exist in a casual narrative setting where you can have asynchronous battles that don't have to be as tightly controlled because of a competitive nature.
Yeah.
So I think that's where the difference is, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
do you want? Is it a game or is it fun? Battle is a war game, I suppose, is the question.
Yeah.
Things aren't always balanced, are there?
No,
So
this is true. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll change my mind after what you just said, but you put that quite eloquently.
oh, I think I think
there's points to be
it's a
made.
hot take that's shared by a lot of people there,
Yeah.
dude.
But yeah, it was just on my mind, so I thought I'd get it out here. But yeah, let us know what you guys think.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to know.
Probably people that are more in the 40k playing space than we are, because we don't play 40k.
Yeah. So I wouldn't think that people listen to us would be.
There'll be a crossover, won't there?
There'll be some gamery people out there, I'm
Yeah.
guessing, but I don't think that we have any sort of insight to
No.
offer on lists or actually playing the game.
This is true.
Certainly not 40k, at least.
Yeah. All right. Well, take that however you want. They was just my thoughts.
But I hear the tower really good. Oh, right.
That was a nice.
I'm snorting. Third. Okay. Let's go into the next section.
Cool. So next section, we've got a little question from a listener here. So this comes from Sai the Ogre. Sai's been listening to us since we started, really, by the sounds of it. He's also over on our Discord, so come say hello, everybody. But yeah, he asked us, what does Warhammer mean to you? Why it takes such a large part of your lives, and what do you get from it? Which I think is a really good question. And I've prepared some notes, actually, which I think are going to be quite different to yours, if you want me to.
Yeah. Knock yourself out, dude.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I think I've got a long answer and a short answer here. We kind of touched on it in our very first episode, but I think I could probably do the question a little more justice now, with a few months of hindsight and some more active experience. For me, Warhammer isn't just a game or a hobby. It's this weird blend of storytelling, creativity, and community that is really hard to find anywhere else. For me, anyway. On one hand, you've got the physical aspect of models and painting, which to me, it's like a little meditation session almost, where you can just kind of zone out and create something that is uniquely yours. On the other hand, you've got the lore. You've got these big epic stories, battles, and it just makes you feel like you're part of something that's much bigger than yourself, It takes up a big part of my life because it hits so many buttons at once. It's artistic, it's social, and it is endlessly expandable. It gives me a sense of accomplishment. It gives me a place to channel some creativity that I don't really have a lot of the time anywhere else. And just as important, it's a shared language with friends. We get to have this kind of conversation. Even when real life gets stressful, Warhammer gives me this fun, nerdy, rewarding little corner to retreat to that fundamentally is an escape for me. I think that's what I said back when we started doing this podcast. So, I mean, what do I get from it? Honestly, it's happiness. It's friendship. Stories worth recording a little podcast about, and it's a reason to keep challenging myself to create something. I've made a really good friend out of this, and we spend a lot of time talking about Warhammer, some of it recorded, some of it not. It is a massive part of our lives, and I think it's really hard to quantify why, but I think that is the only way I can kind of explain it, and I hope I've done it justice, really.
That sounds like a very rounded
Yeah.
view of Warhammer. Almost quite emotional, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm quite an emotional guy at times, but yeah, Sai, I hope that answered the question for you. Yeah, let us know if you share that. But yeah, what about you? Have you had a think about that? I know it's quite a loaded question, isn't it?
It is. I don't think it's that much different from yours.
Yeah.
To be honest, from how you put it, I think for me, Warhammer has definitely had a positive effect on my life. Regardless of all the negative connotations of things that happen in the space as well, because there is a lot of negativity in the space, a lot of gatekeeping, and all that. Putting all that to aside, because I don't engage in any of the negative stuff. Like we try not to be negative here.
Apart from our hot takes.
That's the hot takes, but I don't think that's as negative as some of the other things are. I think it's a net positive. The fact that I feel like I belong for the most part.
Yeah.
With some people at least. I think if it wasn't for how expansive, as you rightly pointed out, Warhammer is, I think I'd probably have worse mental health than I do.
Yeah.
I find I've got quite a stressful life. I have a stressful job, much like we all do. But it's a escape for me, as you say, in so many ways. And what I've tried to do is have my hobby just as Warhammer. So I've kind of, excuse me, I've rolled all of my hobbies or different interests into one catch-all hobby.
Yeah.
To focus on that, which is Warhammer. So as you say, there's the creative outlet. So I really enjoy painting. Not just the army painting aspect, but I enjoy model building, diorama building, and trying to paint to a higher level.
Yeah.
That lets me focus. I enjoy the creative side of it in doing things like this or doing working on my YouTube channel, learning those skills that are tangential to my professional life and also the hobby side of it. I really like the fact that I've made some amazing friends through it. And that's been probably the biggest thing. Finding somebody that wanted the same things out of the hobby as myself has been really compelling to me. I mean, I know we joked about going through the whole interview process and stuff, and it was a little bit facetious of me, but I think interacting with somebody like that, where you can just go in, you can be a bit of a gamey sort of person, can't you, and just going to play a game with anybody. But I think having a relationship with somebody that wants the same things out, that you've got a parity in personality type, and you can talk about the stuff that's not important to you, but is important to you as well. That's a distraction from real life, like how passionately I feel about a Mark 7 helmet compared to the Primaris helmet.
Yeah.
But I could be spending my evening thinking about the meeting that I've got to prep for tomorrow, but
I don't think about that.
I don't want to be doing that sort of thing. So for me, Warhammer has been a parallel to my real life that's allowed me to kind of explore all of the parts that still make Wayne without having to be Wayne the father, Wayne the husband, Wayne the professional, Wayne the free, all of that stuff. It's allowing me to still be the person that I wanted to be, regardless of how old I am, have the interests that I want, engage in the activities that I want to engage in, just in a catch-all environment. So for me, I suppose what's made Warhammer such a part of my life was I suppose it's like people finding religion almost, not to go too deep into it, but it's finding a focus and an outlet for all of those different things, emotional, physical, creative. And that's what I needed to kind of fix me, I think. And it's made me a better person, regardless of how much it costs me. And I know there is a fiscal cost to it, but I think whatever that fiscal cost is outweighed by the fact that I'm not taking loads of antidepressants or anything.
There's a difference between price and a difference between value, isn't there? So,
dude, yes, exactly that. So yeah, I get everything from it. I think if it wasn't for Warhammer, I don't think I'd be me anymore. That I wouldn't have anything to talk about on my YouTube channel. It's made me want to do so much more things. It's pushed me creatively, mentally. It's helped my professional life. It's helped my personal life. I've ended up with, as you say, a really good friend who I genuinely enjoy spending time with, and it's a type of friend that I've never had before. And I never thought that the hobby would bring me all of those things, because I'd never felt part of a group of the gaming people. So it's brought all the positives to my life. I can't think of any negative other than the huge financial cost that there is to it. And I think my wife would agree as well. And my parents, there's been such a big part of my life for such a long time. I mean, I've been into Warhammer since '87, so it's always been there for me.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of things you said there that resonate with me. you know, like everybody, I've been through some bad times. I've made some bad choices, but choosing to pick Warhammer up again and get into it to the level I have was definitely not a bad choice. And I think, like you said, you know, my missus would definitely attest to that. A lot of my friends would, my family would. I don't think that can be understated what this hobby can do for people. But anyway, enough of that mushy stuff. I think hopefully, Si, we've answered that question, you know, to the best of our abilities there. And I just want to say as well, like, these are the types of what am I trying to say here? Sorry, we like to talk to people that think about Warhammer in the same way that we do. It is a hobby, and we know that everybody does have busy lives, but this is the kind of stuff that we talk about on our Discord with the similar type of people. With Sai, who's asked this question, you know, we have really good chats. We're all adults, and we all have responsibilities. We all have difficult things to do in life. But we all have this common interest that is Warhammer, and we all have very different opinions on it. We have very different styles of painting and modeling, and we all get something different from it. But fundamentally, it's a place where people like us can come together. So if you're interested in that, come join us on Discord. That's the last plug for the Discord I'm going to give you for now. But yeah,
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah,
Let's have some more, be it via the Discord or email, however you want to get in touch with us. Do that. And
drop some message on Instagram, whatever's easier.
I've been excited to talk about some of this stuff because I want to talk about it. Not that I wasn't excited to talk about as top 10 lists. I genuinely were. But there's a couple of things in my hobby for the past couple of weeks that I wanted to talk about. And do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
Sure, I'll go first because I think mine's going to be a little shorter than yours. Yeah, it's not the worst actually. But yeah, what have I been doing in a hobby? Just continue to work on my Nighthaunt. Spearhead's nearly close to completion now. After that, I kind of got the next little project planned, and I've kind of touched on it with you. Aside from this, but yeah, Kill Team is something that we're gonna give a go. We can keep threatening to play Kill Team, but I think I'm gonna make sure that we do. So, it kind of just came out of nowhere, really. I just had this idea. I sourced some Kill Team models. Basically, I had some stuff lying around, and I've managed to be able to turn it into a viable Kill Team. I've mentioned it before that I did buy the Krieg boxes to make the Kill Team, but from what I've read online and from what I've heard anecdotally, it's not a very beginner-friendly Kill Team to be playing with. So I just had a bit of a route around in, you know, the bits box and some old models, and it turns out that I've got the what Kill Team is it? Angels of Death Kill Team, yeah, kind of accidentally. So yeah, I'm gonna paint them up as Blood Angels. I've ordered the Primaris chapter Blood Angels upgrade pack sprue.
Okay.
What do you call it? You know,
Yeah. Is that?
yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick splash of red on them guys, you know, give them a quick paint. I mean, luckily it's only 7 models, isn't it? So yeah, thought find my feet with Kill Team because I've never played, but you have. Just so it's something we can talk about on here, and it's something a little different from AOS when we need a bit of a break. But yeah, just flex a little bit of the 40k side of things for a while. So that's cool plan that I'm looking forward to doing, just as a little break from painting the ghosts when I'm done with them. Apart from that, hobby wise, just been reading, lots of reading. I've been reading the original Gotrek and Felix anthology, not trilogy again, which has been really cool to see that through fresh eyes. I've been reading the Dante novel as well, which you know, we mentioned about the Terminator armor. That's literally, I've just been reading about that, you know, making that big point about Terminator armor being irretrievable. I've never read that book before, and Guy Haley, is it the author?
Yeah.
Really, really enjoying that book. Kind of just picked it up on a whim, and it's really gripped me. Like, super enjoying it. That's how I ended up with the idea for the Kill Team. There we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, that is it. I couldn't remember. So yeah, really interesting book. If you don't know much about Dante, the Blood Angels, I would strongly recommend getting a copy of that because it's written really well and it's super easy to read. Absolutely smashing through it as well. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and then after I've read them, I've got the Hollow King next because I do always have a habit of reading 2 or 3 books at once. When I get bored of one, I pick another one up. And
Oh wow.
yeah, vice versa. Yeah. Well, I tend to have that. Like, I have an AOS book on the go and a 40k book on the go, so I can flick between.
Ooh,
And sometimes I throw in a third that's not even related.
I can't cross the streams.
No?
No, I kind of laugh. I have to like have space of AOS or Like I can't even like flip flop backwards and forwards.
No?
I need to now.
You finish one and then go on to the other.
Yeah. Well, like I need to do like series. I'll have maybe like 3, 4, 5 months of 40k books, and then I'll go
flip
through.
between quite
I
easily.
can't. I'm just like no.
What I'm going to do there is I'm going to finish one of them before I start the Hollow King, because I really do want to, sink my teeth into that one. See what I did there?
I think I'm dead excited for you to read Hollow King.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I've heard
That was good.
from you and from a lot of other people that it is a very good book. So yeah,
You'll be dead excited to read.
yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah, that's my update. Probably not as expansive as yours. So tell me, what you been doing?
Fair bit. Considering I've been on holiday, I've managed to get a wad of stuff done. So
Showing me up.
I've now lots of things.
What?
I've pretty much finished my Slave to Darkness army. Now I'm putting the last finishing touches to Archaon and Be'lakor.
Yep.
They are technically the last 2 models for the army until
That one they've just brought out.
literally the one that they brought out as I was
Which is really cool.
finish. It is a really models. So it's is it commemorative edition? So I think it's the commemorative edition.
Yeah.
Exalted Chaos Lord or something.
Sounds right.
He's a really great sculpt. So I'll be getting that and painting him. But other than that, it's literally I'm putting the last details on at the moment. The bases for Archaon and Be'lakor took me a while, especially Be'lakor. So Archaon, it's a complete bespoke base. It's hand sculpted, no 3D printed parts on there. So that took me a while to get done and to actually figure out how to mount Archaon under that bad boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's done. I'm super happy with that. I'll put some pictures on the Discord once it's completely finished.
From what I've seen so far, it's super cool.
Cheers, dude. So, but that's Slave to Darkness done. Completed it, mate.
Completed it.
They're out the door, so we can now play. I think I've got 8,000 points of Slave to Darkness.
Wow.
Good. And out the door.
That is it's like young.
It's not my biggest. It's not my biggest army, you know? No, Slayer. Soulblight, I think about 11,500 points.
Yeah. Okay.
And 8,000 points of Maggotkin.
Yeah. Okay.
All painted.
Oh, there. Yeah.
I don't count anything in my points list that's not painted, so we're good.
Oh, God, I don't share that mentality with you.
So I'm super happy with that. So we can now play some casual games of AOS where I've got completed armies.
Yeah.
I've also finally started. I'm most of the way through Prince.
Yeah.
He's pretty much done.
Nice.
I've just got his armor to finish. The dragon Shroudmare is all done. Again, that was a full bespoke base that took me a while to do. So that ties into our basing theme that we've got.
Yeah.
That's an amazing sculpt. Really like it. Really like it a lot. Super happy with it. Really looking forward to sharing the finished version of that with you and seeing what you think. My Vampire Lord on Nightmare Steed / me is also mostly done.
Yeah.
I say mostly done. I painted.
You've been keeping this quiet.
Yeah, well, I painted Be'lakor, Archaon, Vordre, and Vampire Lord and Nightmare Steed, and something else, all at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So as I was waiting for elements to dry on one, I was working on the other. So I got a wad of those. So that was kind of like I broke the back of the horse's back with a piece of straw. For everything analogies, the camel, some animal's back was broken by adding some additional weight. It doesn't matter what it is, just go with the analogy.
It's like a hobby buckaroo going.
Just like brah. So they were out of the way, and I've also painted those two orcs I told you about.
Yes.
So I've got those out of the way, and I've also started my swamp called the shaman.
Yeah,
Holla.
Yeah.
And also a mega boss. My mega boss, not the one that I painted. So a different mega boss that I'm painting in a different way, and also a large orc that's not from anything.
So you found the time.
It was a 3D print, and I get up early. Go to bed. But it depends whether it's a gym morning or not. Some mornings 4-ish, and I get some painting in right at work. But the gym doesn't open till like 7 at work, so there's an amount of time. And also this orc that I started, which is going to be the skin tone test for the other one. So I'll be sharing those. I've also finished building all of the Flesh Eater Court stuff now.
Yeah, you kept that quiet.
So, well, you knew I had the Flesh Eater Court's
The spearhead. Yeah, I didn't know you built it.
So I built it.
Yeah.
I built it. I primed it.
Nice.
I built the channel throne that I found that I randomly had as well.
Oh, cool.
And I nearly bought the Lord Decapitator again. I've got the Lord Decapitator. I don't need it. All I need is another 10. Do I need another 10 ghouls? I think I need another 10. Yeah, I need another 10 ghouls and 3 of the Flappy Boys, Crypt Horrors. They're called Crypt Horrors.
Yeah.
And then I've got both of the spearheads for the Flesh Eater Courts.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes a nice little army if you ever want to use an army every now and then. So we'll have both of those spearheads. I have no intention of playing the army because of all the reasons we talked about in last episode.
Yeah.
So that's done. I've also accidentally ended up with a Gloomspike Gitz spearhead. I know we talked about this a while back on a couple of episodes, and I had some ideas for Gloomspike Gitz. And I can't remember how it accidentally happened. Oh, I saw the Troggoth. Is it Troggoths? Are they called Troggoths?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The what?
I saw some Troggoths super cheap, so I picked them up. And I think I paid like 12 quid for 3 Troggoths.
Yeah.
Which is
No.
cheapest chips, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cheapest chips. And then a friend of mine very kindly said, "Oh, I have some they're called squig hoppers."
Yes.
Dudes on squigs.
Yeah.
Part of the spearhead is like, "Oh, I've got them. I've got some kicking around, and I want you on them," which is enough for the spearhead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, all I need then is a loon boss and 10, 20 stabbergrots. Called stabbers.
The tiny
stabbers. Yeah, and I found some really nice 3D sculpts. Beautiful ones. So I bought them. So they were like 5 quid for
the file.
Yeah. And I was gonna print them out, and then I went into the FLGS earlier. On the way here, lo and behold, what did it have? 20 stabbers.
Fate.
For 50p each.
Yeah, they can't really say no, can you?
So we've got an accidental Gloomspike spearhead, which made me think I really want to paint this. So this is one of the things that I want to talk about. So this is not going to be another section. This is just my hobby, right? How am I going to paint them? So I want to paint them grimdark. So the paint's coming off of them. That's fine.
Yeah.
I want to do the Troggoths as if remember we talked about what I was going to do, like all of these goblins are all like off the faces, aren't they? Run shrooms.
Yeah.
I want to do the Troggoths as if they're not there. Like this is like, look, these guys are going to like smash all these other dudes, but all of these little goblins are high.
How are you going to do that?
I don't know. I was thinking of I don't know. I just want to do them like glowy blue or something. Do the entire thing's glowy blue. So like, but in my head, all the little goblins are like, do you see the
So are you almost going grimdark on the ones that are there in reality, and then going like super sort of saturated for the other ones to really offset that? Or?
Yeah. I don't know how I want to do it. That was an idea of how I want to do it. I was also thinking of doing because I think they were originally night goblins, weren't they?
Yeah,
they're supposed to be. So I want to do them grimdark. So I like that idea. I think again we talked about this in a previous episode. I can't remember when it was. Like needle like teeth and stuff. This is why these 3D sculpts really appeal to me, because they've got that aesthetic.
Yeah.
Much less derpy than these old GW sculpts. But my question was going to be to you. I've got this idea of how I want to do the overall look of this spearhead, because my idea is that this would be a shared spearhead for us as a gaming couple. Would you be very sad?
I mean, I've been called worse, but okay.
But it won't fit in with our basing idea for all of the others. But I think they need mushrooms. So again, because these goblins are all high.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where they are. In my head, these magic mushrooms, they're just like larking to life, and wherever they're looking, they're just seeing this magical forest that's lit by like this ethereal glow of these mushrooms, and the caps of the mushrooms are giving this like iridescent light glowing down, and that's what's lighting these goblins. So the goblins will be effectively underlit.
Yeah.
And that should make them look a little bit more sinister.
Yeah, okay.
It's easy to paint like that, but obviously for that to work, it's not going to have the cobblestone look. And I thought, well,
yeah,
I could have the mushrooms coming out of the gaps between the bricks and stuff, but when you look at the actual size of the bases being on 25mm bases,
You're going to struggle with that. Yeah.
it's going to be a real struggle. So I think there needs to be some artistic license there. And it's like,
Oh, so what you're telling me is we're going to need another spearhead with a common basing thing.
no, well, and then I was thinking, well, is this common basing theme, it's more of a narrative idea for our games of AOS rather than Spearhead, which is quite transient. So I'm like, I'm probably just overthinking things, but I like the idea of being able to take it. And I was like, I have no other destruction faction things, so I don't need that shared base theme. I'm not going to turn this into a null army.
That's it. I mean, the whole point of our shared basing theme is for Path to Glory, isn't it?
Yeah,
For our, you know, for our AOS narrative campaign. So I don't think this needs to fit in with that. I think you need to have room to stretch your legs and do something different with this. And yeah, I think it sounds cool. Do it, mate. Like it's for Spearhead, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, go for it.
I think it'll be really fun to play as them. I say fun. Yeah, it'll definitely be fun. I don't want them to be fun.
No,
they're definitely not humorous.
no.
I mean, I want them to be humorous.
You want them
I
to
them
be
dark.
as like okay. No, I think go for it. The mushroom idea sounds super cool.
I just like the idea of high goblins that are just like are so high they manifesting into reality. Troggoths.
Yeah, and I think it's a really cool idea. It's a unique idea. Run with it.
So yeah, I'm excited. I think I've got a loom boss as well coming. Won one on eBay once through.
Nice.
For I think it's like £7.
Hey, that's all right.
£2 shipping, so £9.
That was like me getting that Blood Angels Primaris Captain dirt cheap on through. Both done all right on internet auction sites.
Yeah, happy times. Happy times. So there's been a wodge of hobby happened there, and so a little bit more to update on hobby-wise. I was listening to a Vampire Genevieve chronology anthology that was like 35 hours a book.
Yeah.
I made it through the first 2 books of that anthology.
2 of how many?
I don't know, man. I think it was like 5 in there.
Given up?
I've given up, man.
Yeah.
I had to. I couldn't deal with it.
You gave it a valiant effort.
The first one, I really didn't like. It's that I forced myself to listen to it, and I was like invested by it at the end of the story, and I was like, right, okay, I get it. I got transfixed by it being Vampire Genevieve. I should have perhaps researched a little bit more before I wasted money on it. I don't like her as a character. I don't like anything that was written in that series. It's not for me. The writing style and how it was portrayed. So, and I couldn't make it. I just could not make it through. So
Who's the author?
I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, you gave it a real valiant effort. I mean,
it was not for me, mate, at all. So yeah, that's gone the way of the dodo, and I'm on to, is it the Rose Throne?
Oh, yeah, have you started that?
I have.
Yeah, you have to keep me posted on.
I'm not enjoying it so far.
All right, fair enough. I mean, yeah, I think we've got different takes on what we like from Black Library. Maybe we'll do a Black Library episode one day. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we could do it.
Yeah, but we'll keep me posted on this one.
I think it'll get better. I'm hoping it'll get better. I should do, because it's like, I like the Castelli.
Yeah.
But I think for me on this one at the moment, it's going to be a slow burn. I'm still early into it. So yeah, that's where I kind of am with my hobbying so far. I still haven't read the Nighthaunt Battle Tome. It's still there on my shelf.
You didn't bring the fleshy one for me to read, did you?
The fleshy is, remind me next week.
Sorry, dude. No, I mean, I'm in no rush. It's just out of interest more than anything.
You need to read it so you can be as like disillusioned as I am. See what I did there. So yeah, that's my hobby for the foreseeable. And apparently I'm doing another kill team.
Yes. Have you decided what yet?
Well, Space Marines, obviously.
All right, cool. Well, we'll figure out some.
We'll literally Dark Angels in. Well, yeah.
Well, we'll figure out a thematic way
initiatives.
of why we're fighting each other, but we'll work that in.
Training simulation.
Well, one of us has fallen.
Well, it's not me. No, I can't do that. I can't be the bad guy.
I will.
Back.
I will.
Perhaps it's the fighting over the right to who can be the actual angels.
Yeah, maybe. Who deserves the term angels more? Yeah. All right. Well, do we have time for one last bit, do you think?
I think we do. Probably.
Yeah.
Do you?
Well, I think, everybody's celebrating because it's 10 years of Age of Sigmar. That's why we did the sort of 10 out of 10. We got any sort of general thoughts on what the 10 years of AOS has brought us, where it might go? I've got a couple of things, but what do you think?
I can't believe it's been 10 years. No. Yeah, I mean, I've not been in from the start. I think for me, it's marked a real turning point. I love 40k lore.
Yeah.
I always will do. But in terms of like a game, I think AOS has given me a lot of the things that I want. I think Curse City is fantastic. Love it. Love the game from what I've played of it so far. I love everything that it's given us. But I think one of the things that AOS over the last 10 years has given is Games Workshop a freedom to create something that feeds into their poster child of 40k. They try stuff in AOS, and I think for the most part, that's benefited the community hugely because it's such a small part of the community compared to the 40k side of it that they can try things, and some of it sticks, some of it misses. Not having points in the first edition of Age of Sigmar was balmy.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't around for it, but it sounds crazy.
It was, and it didn't work, but they've gradually experimented and found what works. And I think they've got a great core game in the Age of Sigmar. I think it's kind of given them as well the ability to really progress as a provider of models. I know that's almost like an afterthought now as to them as a company because they're that big and they've got that many revenue streams, but there's no argument really, is there, that AOS models are, I would say, largely better than 40k models.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. Might be a hot take, but it's one that I share. Yeah, I get that. I think, I think you've nailed that. I think there's a lot to be said about the core rules of AOS being the mechanics are relatively light compared to 40k, from what I know as well. And not just that, you've got multiple ways to play. You know, you've got your match play, you've got your narrative, path to glory stuff, Spearhead, which is an absolute home run. You know, we love Spearhead. Yeah, you've got your small quick games, Underworld, haven't you? You know, AOS doesn't force you into one style. I really like that idea. It seems to have shaken off that kind of hardcore only gamer mentality, and it's made space for casual players like us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I think 10th edition has really gone that way, and I think that's something as well that we're seeing more and more and more of. 40k is becoming more of a game.
Yeah.
More of a competitive game as well at that. And I think a few other people have said the same thing, that they enjoy 40k, but 40k isn't fun.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, I don't see this, but I think we have the fun element in AOS because of all the things we've talked about. Just from the conversation around the top 10 that we've had. That was genuinely fun to explore. That. Even though we only looked at it from the visual aspect of the models, we didn't get into the lore aspect of what made us like those models.
I think, I think you can kind of get a little bit bogged down in 40k with, you know, the endless war and all that stuff. And I think AOS does seem more fun to me, and I think it's got a little bit more of an epic scale. You know, you've got gods walking the earth, you've got entire realms that are at stake, but there's also space for your smaller stories, isn't there? You know, mortals in cities, you know, on the Crusades and stuff like that. I think it's a very different vibe, isn't it? I think it's kind of, it's grown past that old world map that was very limited, and now we've got these different realms that are being expanded upon, and there's still ones that they've only just sort of touched on. And there's definitely room where AOS is going to go in that aspect as well, isn't it? You know, what was it? Ulgu, is it? And Haish? We don't really know a lot about them, do we?
Ulgu is is that?
I don't know. There's more realms that we don't know as much about, like Gairan and Shaiish and whatever, isn't there? There's more. I don't know.
Yeah, the metal realm is Ulgu.
Is it? Yeah. So
one of them, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's stuff like that. I mean, I'm excited for the direction that it's going to go, and I think it seems like there's a clearer progression there than there is in 40k at the moment, because don't forget we've got the next edition of 40k coming. But I think AOS, you know, it seems to be going in the right direction. You know, we've touched on 40k seeming to come to a little bit of a standstill and a bit of a crossroads, but AOS kind of just seems like it's trundling on nicely to me. So yeah,
I think that's one of the things as well that has been useful with AOS, even though there's 10 years of it. That's still almost 25 years less than 40k, and the not with the narrative and the wider story, it's still a framework for us to set our stories in, our characters in, and it feels less restrictive from 40k.
Yeah.
Whereas we won't, as we've talked about with the Terminator stuff and things, I suppose there's that constraint that gets annoying for fans, even though like in a fun way, it's annoying that they're messing with established law. I'm going to make an assumption here that they've purposefully made the decision to skirt some subjects in some of the law that they're writing for AOS to avoid those pitfalls and keep it as a setting, an ever-present setting, but stay away from specific central characters. And I think that is one of the key elements that we've got. Yes, we have Sigmar, and he's a proxy for the Emperor. You got that, and you got the Chaos Gods and stuff. But almost by having Sigmar seems more in the background, the Stormcast feel more in the background compared to Space Marines, which are portrayed as the heroes. So you need that narrative to it always have to include Space Marines. Everything is Space Marine, Space Marine, Space Marine, where in AOS they can tell it from the perspective of all of the different factions. And I think they need to keep that. If they keep that, that's what's exciting. And I think if they can kind of move that forwards over the next 10 years, but keep that perspective, we'll be in a really good position.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's a really nice way to wrap that up, to be honest.
Yeah, and I hope they can walk right back.
Yeah, well, we should see.
Do another Warhammer quest.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we're due for another one.
Christmas?
Maybe. Oh, we've got LVO coming up.
Oh, is that the next couple of weeks?
Yeah.
What are we going to get?
They've shown everything, really. So I'm guessing it's either going to be something big or either, because I genuinely thought with all the rumors that we're going to show, like, it was pretty much given that Calgar and Kato Sicarius was coming back.
Yeah.
And the Vitrix Guard, it was leaked everywhere. Same with the Assault Terminators.
Yeah.
But then they've just randomly shown them.
Yeah.
It's like, what's coming out of LVO? Are they going to show anything at LVO? Because they didn't at the last one, did they?
No, so if you think they didn't at the last one, they probably are going to hear. But what is it going to be?
The kill team stuff is all leaked.
Yeah, apart from that middle one, but that seems a bit underwhelming if they announce that.
Who cares about that?
Well, we do.
So it's like the only,
No, I know what you mean.
The only thing that they could possibly show is like kick off to the, well, I say possibly show. They could show anything, couldn't they? I reckon it's going to be an introduction to the narrative, maybe to the wrap up for the final EX. Drakari Codex now coming out. That's all the codices out.
All of them, yeah.
So it's like we're coming into the countdown to 11th edition, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, do you think they're going to do anything really bold? Are they going to give us a new Primarch at the last minute? Stealth drop a Primarch?
I mean, there's all sorts of rumors swirling. But
I can't see it.
I can see it.
All right, if it is going to be a Primarch, who's it going to be? Call it now.
No, for sure. I want it to be Russ, but I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it will be Russ.
Who do you think it would be? Angron. That's not who I mean. Logger. That's who I meant.
I think it's more likely it'll be a Chaos Primarch.
Yeah, I think so.
But that'll be 2 Chaos Primarchs in a year.
Yeah.
We've got Fulgrim, haven't we?
No, we don't talk about Fulgrim.
I mean, I don't know who would.
I mean, Russ is a logical choice after the Space Wars refresh, right?
It is, but 3. I mean, I don't know.
It's history between him and the Lion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
they haven't done much
with
the Lions.
It would make huge sense, but still, I'm not as clued up on the 40k narrative of where we are at the moment. But I don't think the Lion and Gulliman have actually.
I don't think they've met
yet.
No. As far as I'm aware, no. But again, same as you. If anybody knows, let us know if we're completely off the mark here. But
I don't think they've yet. So perhaps that's part of the narrative. I want them to do some more stuff with the Axe of Omen, because that feels like it was dropped. So I would like to find out more. Selfishly, because I really like Vashtor, and I want to know what's going on with them in the Dark Angels. I think that's got a lot more to explore. But I mean, the rumor is that the next edition is going to be all Orky, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen them rumors.
So I can kind of see them not going down that road and doing something more like, oh, the Tyranids were last year. We're Orcs now.
Yeah. So I really don't know. I mean, it's tough to call, but I mean, by the time we record again, will that have happened? No, it won't.
No,
not quite.
No, but there may be some more news. They may put something out of like,
maybe
give us an hint of what they're going to reveal. Because they normally like put an advert out with some logos on, so we know at least what IPs in there they're going to talk about. Perhaps. Oh, we didn't talk about Space Marine 2.
No, we didn't.
I picked up Space Marine 2 on Xbox.
You did.
Again, and I also got sucked into buying some DLC.
Which DLC?
The Dark Angels DLC.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Obviously. But did you know what annoyed me then, Will? I've got to pay for additional DLC to unlock the colours. To make the Dark Angels look like how I paint my Dark Angels.
Oh, yeah, because yours aren't
I am
typical.
disgusted by this. I can see for some of the more like out there colours, but black.
Yeah, for black, it's a bit rich, isn't it? Ironically. Well, there's something we need to play. So
We definitely do. We should put something on the Discord perhaps and have a group for play.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Play games. Or
Yeah.
we could get together and play with if anybody on the Discord's got it.
If anyone's interested, come and join us over there. Same with Vermintide as well.
We need to play something like Vermintide.
Yeah, we do. Vermintide was super
I
fun.
bought some DLC for that as well.
Let's when we start recording, we'll put a night in his diaries and we'll sort something
A Deathwing Night.
out. Right. Well, have you got anything else for this episode?
I don't think so. I think
This-
we've pretty much talked about everything we're going to talk about.
I think this might be our longest episode yet. So, I mean, let us know also if this is too long, if you like the longer form.
Yeah, tell us.
So, yeah, thank you for listening. If you made it this far, it is getting late. We've had a good time. It's nice to have you back from holiday, Wayne. You seem well rested. Where can people find us online?
Warhammer Wings everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah, come and see what we're doing on Instagram. All the links to the Discord and everything's over there. Drop us an email to warhammerandwings@gmail.com. Drop us a message on Instagram, Facebook, join us on Discord, all the usual places. Just not TikTok.
Just not take.
We're too old. We're too old.
Let us know what your top 10s are, 'cause we want to know.
Yes, and let us know if you want to hear a 40k top 10 from us.
Or my AOS stuff.
Oh, more AOS. What's our worst? Top 10 worst models.
Ooh.
That's a bit decisive.
We can't just do top 10s all the time. But I'm intrigued.
The top 10 boys.
That's what top 10 and wings. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you later.